and we are live finally. बहुत देर रुकावट के बाद I think चिंतन भाई we are live now. Yeah, I can see we are live properly. First of all, ciao ciao यार, how is everyone doing? थोड़ा लेट चल हुआ stream but glad to be back as always. आज एक बड़ा दिन है. आज Italian football में actually बहुत बड़ा दिन है क्योंकि we have the Coppa Italia final as the stream says. और फाइनली हमें एक थोड़ा अलग कोपा इटालिया मिल रहा है. मतलब मे बी फॉर द न्यूट्रल दे में एंजॉय दिस मोर बिकॉज लास्ट थोड़े सालों में इट हैज मेनली बीन इंटर, यूवे, नापोली, लाजियो इवन. यही कोपा इटालिया आपके फाइनलिस्ट रहे. और फाइनली नाउ वी हैव टू क्लब्स, एसी मिलान एंड बोलोनिया, हु हैव बोथ नॉट वन द कोपा इटालिया फॉर अ लॉन्ग लॉन्ग टाइम. मतलब एसी मिलान को ऑब्वियसली 2003 में लास्ट जीती थी और बोलोनिया तो 74 में जीती थी. Sorry, 74 or before that, something like that. I'll pull those stats up, but glad to be with you guys. 8 people watching. I'm sure more people will join. I'm joined by our in-house Milanista Chintan bhai. Chintan bhai, first of all, before we get into all of this, how are you guys doing? How are you doing?
Amazing, yeah. Nervous. Very funny season, Param. We are lying in like 8th right now, and talking about Coppa Italia finals, our only probably route to Europa League. यार कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग तो आई वुड रादर नॉट प्ले. सो यूरोपा लीग के लिए द ओनली रूट. ऑफ कोर्स द लास्ट वीक्स रिजल्ट्स डिड प्रोपेल अस एंड गिव अस सम चांस दैट यू हायर फिनिश कर सकते हैं. बट अ वेरी फनी सीजन परम यार फॉर मिलान. किधर थे चैंपियंस लीग में? ऑफ कोर्स कुड हैव फिनिश्ड इन द टॉप 8, स्लिप्ड आउट. उसके बाद वेरी बैड रिजल्ट्स, बीच में एक ट्रॉफी भी जीत गए. And a funny season Param that we might end up with 2 trophies with such a turmoil season with 2 managers. And people forget Conceição जैन में ही आया हुआ है, but it feels like he's been here forever. उसके face से परम दिखता है कितना he's aged, I think 10 years already. So a very funny season, but confident है यार थोड़ा कि शायद मिलान जो लास्ट 6-7 मैचेस में कर रही है with the change in formation, थोड़ा confident है कि we might just pull this off यार.
Definitely we'll get to the specifics of the game, but पहले मुझे देखने दो who's in the house. Deepu is in the house. Nice to have you as always. He's already given his prediction. He says AC Milan to win 2-1. Obviously recently head to head हुआ था obviously in the league and AC Milan won that 3-1. He says congrats all for reaching the UCL final. Thank you. मतलब obviously a whole different feeling, a very good feeling, so thanks for that. Rio is in the house. Nice to have you. Would be interesting to see Italiano play against a cup specialist in Conceição. I mean टेक्निकली दोनों कप्स में अच्छा करते रियो. अगर कॉन्सेसाओ का तो पोर्टो का रिकॉर्ड देखेगा, ही हैज बीन डूइंग, ही इज वन तासा दे पोर्चुगल विद पोर्टो एंड एवरीथिंग. सो वो कप्स में भी एक्सपीरियंस्ड है. इटालियनो ऑब्वियसली कप फाइनल्स में हार चुका है बट ही स्टिल टेक्स हिज टीम द डिस्टेंस. सो देखते हैं क्या होता है. RS is here. Nice to have you. Is that a Blackburn jersey? No, it's a Sampdoria jersey, 92-93 season. I wore this because Sampdoria unfortunately have been relegated to the Serie C, third tier of Italian football, and that's a quite side story, Chintan by barring for Genoa fans obviously. Love historic club like Sampdoria, mismanagement of the next level. और मेरे दिमाग में कल जब मैं देख रहा था एक्चुअली मैच उनका, just to side track a bit, and horrible. आपका former player याद है एम्बाई नियांग, right? He had a 1v1 chance and he fluffed it towards the end. और वो एक गोल भी मारते ना वो लोग, एक गोल भी तो सरवाइव कर लेते. And he fluffed it.
Niang missing one-on-ones is not a surprise. That one-on-one miss at Sanf at Barcelona Camp Nou, it's still haunting us because that would have been game. We could have qualified that game, but he missed a one-on-one there. So it's not a surprise when you say Niang missing one-on-ones.
Yeah, and it sums up कि सैम्पडोरिया का बहुत खराब टाइम चल रहा है. जो उनका पुराना ओनर था फरेरो, जो जेल में था, उसके बाद नए ओनर्स, 4 coaching changes, tons of money, not tons of money spent, but money spent, horrible recruitment, and they're in the Serie C, and I don't know how bad it'll get. क्योंकि आप जब थर्ड टियर में गिरते हो चिंतन में, आपके पैसे के प्रॉब्लम्स चालू हो जाते हैं इटालियन फुटबॉल में, हम सब जानते हैं. सो I hope they bounce back, but it seems tough. And also because it's a Coppa Italia final, I mean, I could have worn an Inter jersey, but again, this is the last time they won a Coppa Italia around that time, 91-92. So सोचा यार थोड़ा ट्रिब्यूट के लिए पहन लूं because it's a great club and you feel for that. You don't want to see a big club like that, kind of big club in Italian football suffer so much. Yash, nice to have you. Please do like, share and subscribe, guys. First of all, do like, share and subscribe. Again, we are on the road to 2K, so come on, show us the support. Let's get there. Abhijay not coming from his real account and jinxing obviously both the Milan clubs क्योंकि उसकी क्लब बाहर हो गई है हर चीज के रेस से. सो ऑफ कोर्स उसको जिंक्स तो करना ही है. What do you think about Conceição future considering it's almost ये मैं थोड़ा लेता हूँ रियो. मैं स्टार करता हूँ. We'll tie it in with चिंतन भाई Coppa Italia predictions. Okay, I'll tie it in with that. टोमोरी अपडेट अगेन ये स्टार कर रहा हूँ. ये टीम न्यूज में डिस्कस करते हैं. ठीक है आरेश. Sampdoria played against Barcelona in the UCL. Yes, they did and they lost, but that was quite a historic team. They won the Scudetto in 91 as well, so it is quite a sad story कि यार relegate हो गए. But let's get to it, guys.
But that
Again,
just getting back, I'll never forget like Barca final. वो जब देखा था तभी Koeman ने free kick, I think Ronald Koeman scored, and it was very unheard of because नया नया football देखना चालू किया, like a defender scoring a free kick, very unheard of. So a great player. I'm a big Ronald Koeman fan, so to see him score a free kick was amazing.
Yeah, रोनाल्ड कुमन का वो फ्री किक गोल मैंने फुटबॉलिया में जाके वो पूरा मैच देखा था. It was quite a final, and back then you had different sponsors like A6 used to sponsor Sampdoria.
A6, yes.
आजकल तो आपको ऑस्ट्रेलियन क्रिकेट टीम की जर्सी में दिखता है ये वो, बट अभी ऑब्वियसली A6 इधर था. बट let's get back on track, guys. Obviously please do like, share and subscribe. Come on, more people I hope join the stream as well. By the way, I hope आज आपको कोई स्ट्रीम यार्ड से इशू नहीं हो रहा है. अगर कोई इशू नहीं हो रहा है तो प्लीज थम्स अप दो. सो चिंतन भाई, in case you missed it, StreamYard is basically causing a few issues in terms of lag and everything. So excellent manager Abhijay trolling as always. But let's get back on track. चिंतन मैं पहले तो मैं as a fan आपको पूछना चाहता हूँ और comments में भी in general for everyone, not just Milanisti. I want to know how you're feeling because ये एक और फाइनल है. बहुत टाइम के बाद फाइनल है आपके लिए. मतलब एक लोग बोलते हैं कोपा इटालिया मिकी माउस एंड ऑल दैट. आई नेवर अग्री विद ऑल दैट नॉनसेंस. ओके, दैट्स नॉट फॉर मी. A trophy is a trophy. Okay. I'll show pictures later in relation to the Coppa Italia final, but this is a big trophy. It has a big trophy feel to it. Both the coaches have to go and give speeches in front of the parliament and everything and all that. All that is there. It has a big feel to it. It always happens in Rome. Fans travel in big numbers. आपका as a fan कैसा feeling है? क्या लग रहा है आपको? और comments में भी आप लोग बताओ.
Yeah, it is. First of all, it's unreal that Milan haven't won since 2003. So one more big reason that we should be chasing it. And even I don't agree with this Mickey Mouse. It is an elite cup competition. I think everyone chases a cup competition because eventually it does boil down to your bitter rivals, of course, around. You do end up playing the big teams, the big clubs around that. So I don't even consider Super Coppa as a small trophy because जैसे condition भी है, just how Milan is right now, where trophies are so far and few. So every trophy counts, and that's why you saw how Milan celebrated the Super Cup also, and rightly so, right? New manager beating Juventus and Inter, so rightly so how they celebrated that trophy also. And this again, Italian Cup haven't won in 22 years. We've had so many managers in the middle, so many players, legendary players. उसके बाद Champions League भी जीत गए 2 बार. Like Coppa Italia 2003-7 we won the Champions League also, but we haven't won this. Of course, our recent loss was a heavy loss against Inter. So this is something which is compulsory. And let's not forget, Param, everything is linked to this because where Milan are languishing currently as a team, just shows that how important this trophy is to get back to Europe. I know Champions League is a far-off dream. Some people are still hoping. Some Milan fans are still kind of getting their calculations right. Okay, Juventus agar next match draw kiya, ye kiya. But I don't see that happening here. Juventus, Lazio just need 4 points to go through in 2 games. I don't see them not getting that. So, only thing is, of course, you want to finish as high as possible. Europa League, even through the league is possible. But as you said, Param, even if we are finishing, even if you're winning the title, okay, guys, Inter have been winning the double for a while. So, even if you win your title, you want to win your domestic league cup. It's very important, paramount, and added incentive is, जैसे बताया परम, सच अ फनी सीजन, पूरा टर्मोइल चालू है मैनेजमेंट में क्या हो रहा है. एंड लकीली जो मिलान टर्न अप हो रही है कोपा इटालिया में, लकीली इट्स अ लिटिल डिफरेंट. वी प्लेड इंटर, ऑफ कोर्स, आवर बिगेस्ट राइवल्स, एंड वी गॉट थ्रू. सो आई फील दिस इज द राइट टाइम. द मोमेंटम अच्छा. आई थिंक प्लेयर्स ऑल्सो नो हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट दिस इज. So I just hope they turn up motivated, and we are again playing against a team Bologna. Again, I'm not saying they don't have anything to lose, but they are going to, of course, Milan are going in as favorites, so they are going to come in all guns blazing. You saw how they last 2 games से थोड़ा slip हुआ है परम. Otherwise Bologna, I would rate Bologna as more of a favorites than Milan, to be very honest. But जो week Friday का result आया, I am very confident after this back 3 परम. I don't mind we don't play fluid football, but this looks like more defensive stable Milan लग रहा है. Only loss came against Atlanta. Beautiful Atlanta goal, no argument. We were there with Atlanta in the game also. So
Yeah.
very excited as a fan, and as you said, big night. Cup finals are always amazing, and cup finals there are possibilities of penalties. There's so much drama attached to it. Of course, Param, you're going to play a bigger cup final very soon in a few days. So uh, this is paramount for us right now.
अग्रीड मतलब वो एक कोई भी आप फाइनल में, मैं यही एज एन इंटरिस्टा जब मैं बोलता था वी वन ऑल दीज ट्रॉफीज ऑल दीज इयर्स, मैं वही बोलता था कि व्हेन यू आर इन द फाइनल यू रियली अंडरस्टैंड द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ इट एंड यू रियली नो कि कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है यार. आपको पता चलता है, जैसे आपने बोला कि यार इतने टाइम के बाद आप नहीं जीतते हो तो एक ट्रॉफी लाना कितना इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, उससे मेंटालिटी बिल्ड होती है. And it's paramount. It's paramount for both clubs. I will get into that. I just want to see what people, because I asked people their thoughts as well. After 2018, we reached the Coppa Italia final. Hopefully, we win this time. Feeling nervous, of course. Matlab, obviously, 2018 is also a long time, and obviously, you lost that final. टिजानी पे ना विजय मैं स्टार करता हूँ विद द अदर स्टार कमेंट्स, क्योंकि थोड़ा अलग टॉपिक है, लूंगा मैं, बट लेट्स focus a bit on the Coppa Italia. As a Milanista, feeling a bit of cautious optimism, but a bit worried about what happens post final, because if we win, would the management consider this team not needing more investments and depth? हाँ, वो एक अच्छा, वो एक that's a fair enough perspective. वो कभी कभी होता है क्लब्स के साथ. Winning two trophies in such a rubbish season, Milan living true to the United of Serie A. मतलब वही चिंतन मैंने जैसे बोला ना कि if they do win it, if they do win two trophies, like their second trophy of the season, इट सेज अ लॉट कि इतने खराब सीजन में अगर आप जीतते हो तो भी इट्स अ मिक्स्ड बैग. लाइक आप क्या ही बोलो, क्योंकि लीग में आप 8th फिनिश हो, यू स्टिल नो कि विदाउट द चैंपियंस लीग, वो न्यूज में आपने देखा, दे मे स्टिल हैव टू सेल अ की प्लेयर, एंड विद मैनचेस्टर सिटी ब्रीदिंग डाउन देयर नेक फॉर टिजानी, एज यू मेंशनड, यू नेवर नो यार. I mean, we know Tijani Reinders has openly said he loves AC Milan, he loves Milan, the city of Milan, he wants to stay. But when you don't get Champions League football, it's a whole different ball game, right? So वो topic पे मैं आते हैं, but let's focus a bit here. Opinion on Fulani and his performance. Chintan sir, do you feel he's not getting? ये भी मैं स्टार्ट करता हूँ क्योंकि थोड़ा मेरे को कोपा इटालिया फाइनल पे थोड़ा I like these questions. I'll come to all this, Chintan bhai, but I want more questions related to the Coppa Italia, if that's fine. Krish is here. I know Krish Genoa fan है. क्रिश तूने तो मतलब तू बता तुझे कैसा लग रहा है सैम्पडोरिया के रेलेगेशन पे भाई. मतलब तो खुश हुआ होगा कि सेरिया ची में गिर गए वो लोग. वी डिड आवर बेस्ट अगेंस्ट नापोली भाई. तुम लोग ने किया तो अच्छा तो किया 2-2 ड्रॉ से. बट I got Chintan bhai's opinion. I just want to give like the Bologna side of things, right? As a neutral here, obviously. इटालियानो को चिंतन में हम लोग ये बार बार डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, बहुत क्रिटिसाइज किया हमने, बहुत लाइक फेयरली, बट बहुत किया. एंड लुक, ही कुड स्टिल लूज अनदर फाइनल. Unfortunately, there is a possibility he goes home with another loss in the final. But you have to give the guys flowers. Like, I just can't. मेरे को थोड़ा अभी भी थोड़ा डाइजेस्ट करने में डिफिकल्टी होती है ये कि इस बंदे ने मोटा के मेस को, नॉट मेस इन द सेंस द केओस दैट वाज लेफ्ट एट द क्लब वंस मोटा लेफ्ट, ही मैनेज्ड टू टर्न इट अराउंड डिस्पाइट अ टर्बुलेंट चैंपियंस लीग कैंपेन. मतलब उसने वो सब किया, एक फाइनल में लाना बोलोनिया जैसे क्लब को, and then that too with random pieces, not the pieces exactly he wanted, right? Martin Ehrlich, average defender, I think Euros में भी देख लिया है,
Yeah.
बार बार इंजर्ड रहता है. Getting in young talent like Santiago Castro, Benjamin Dominguez, making Remo Freuler, reviving Remo Freuler. अगर मैं
Spoiler,
underrated,
yes.
या एग्जैक्टली, अगर चिंतन में अंडररेटेड प्लेयर्स ऑफ द सेरिया सीजन बना एक लिस्ट बनानी हो ना मुझे, रेमो फ्रॉलर बैठेगा उसमें आराम से. ओर्सोलिनी को रिवाइव कर दिया. You have players like Dhananjay going publicly and saying, "Arey, I'm playing better than I did under Thiago Motta. I feel my output is better." So you have to give this guy massive credit. Let me just show you something quickly, right? Let me just show you, where is this? I don't think Footmob on this thing shows that, but I'll pull that stat up later. But my point is, Bologna को एक उसने, he made sure that mentality from last season did not drop.
Yeah.
Losing key players, we've spoken about it. And for Bologna now to become a household name, we are now talking, Chintan bhai, about Bologna becoming the potential next Atalanta. Whether or not that happens, अपने को नहीं पता, but वो लोग वो footsteps में जा रहे हैं, वो stability ला रहे हैं, and this is, you have to give them credit. Like Bologna, because of Italiano, their directors, not because of him, but you get the point. Ki Sartori's extended his contract, DYO, everybody is convinced of a project
Yeah, that
now.
is right. And
exactly.
as you said, Param, the most important part is they will attract players too. Because
Yeah,
as you said, Atlanta में अभी players जाने को ready है. That will happen with Bologna as well. And
yeah,
I give full credit to Italiano because even the Champions League started off badly, but they did beat Dortmund, the finalists, at home. I think that kick started
yeah,
their
yeah,
entire campaign and how they've come back. I'm telling you, I'm very impressed by Endoy. एंड जैसे अभी किसी ने इधर मेंशन किया इंटर शुड बी गोइंग फॉर एंडो, ऐसे आइडिया मत दो यार. आई एम अ बिग फैन ऑफ एंडोय एंड आई रियली थिंक इज अ मशीन. एंडोय आई एम impressed by Dominguez also. सच्ची बताओ, they are performing above everyone's expectation. Orsolini तो यार मुझे ऐसा ही लग
yeah,
रहा था he's going to be like another you know
yeah, yeah,
like बराडी जैसा हो जाएगा शायद, on and off. I don't know what he's going to perform. बोलता ज्यादा है, perform कम करता है. But look at the confidence, to score all these curlers and to collect the ball,
yeah.
go at the goal, attack कर रहा है वो, he's attacking now. जैसे
Mm,
विंगर का काम क्या होता है पर when they get the ball they need to attack the defender and go for the goal. वो कर रहा है, you can see it. Even the goal he scored against Milan, fantastic, so very impressed. And all these, and जैसे हमने starting में बात किया
mm,
था, Lukumi might have dipped little right now, but Lukumi's start was probably exceptional. He was the best Bologna player when they started playing, and they caught Liverpool's eye. So as a whole, Param, एक time लगता है to click, and I'm telling you, Param, this is very surprising. Bologna clicked way earlier than everyone
yeah,
expected.
yeah, yeah. And लोग भूल जाते टर्बुलेंट सीजन था स्टार्ट में, एंड ऊपर से अगेन इन द लीग ओनली वन लॉस एट होम सो फार, ओनली वन लॉस एट होम.
Yeah,
ये ऑब्वियसली मैं कोपा इटालिया की बात करूं, बट वन लॉस एट होम, दैट टू हेलास वेरोना. अभी से अगर तो चैट में होगा, ऑब्वियसली ही विल सेलिब्रेट दैट. एंड दैट टू वाज इन 2024, द फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ द सीजन. कोपा इटालिया में दे नॉकड आउट देयर आर्च राइवल्स फियोरेंटीना. चिंतन भाई, जिस ऑब्वियसली इटालियनो डिड नॉट लीव फियोरेंटीना ऑन गुड टर्म्स, हम जानते हैं. ही लेफ्ट ऑन पुअर टर्म्स. This is their first Coppa Italia final since 1974. That's a long time. They've reached the final, I think, twice before, and before apart from that, and won it on both occasions. And I think those two Coppa Italia trophies they have.
it's a
So
rare, yeah.
yeah, so it's ages for them, even before you guys. So भाई मतलब, चैंपियंस लीग पहुंचना इतने सालों के बाद, कोपा इटालिया फाइनल पहुंचना इतने सालों के बाद, commendable job. I'll bring up more Bologna stuff. I just want to show you something before that. Just some scenes from Rome. I just found something. Just let me show you, because I think Bologna fans are definitely on song, and I'm sure Milan fans भी obviously बहुत होंगे.
No tifo, but Param,
Huh?
confirm कर दिया मिलान फैंस ने,
No
करवाने
tifo,
दे,
yeah. I
no
remember,
tifo.
yeah. Yeah. So this is a section of Bologna fans that is already in Rome. I think in Rome, or is this the ones gathering in Bologna? But whatever, they're all charged up, as you can see. I'll pull up more stuff. I just want to take a few comments as I move into the next section. Wow, a lot of comments came in. Let me just. One fun fact was when Marseille won their first UCL, they played against Milan and
Don't
Munich, a new jinx. हाँ मतलब वो
don't
all
Param, this is I rather talk about 2005 Champions League, but not this. The Marseille, this was a
sorry.
farce. Marseille के साथ क्या हुआ था पता है सबको ये सीजन में. Why was the title given
Yeah,
to them? I
yeah.
have no idea. This should not be spoken about.
लीग में भी, चैंपियंस लीग में भी, बट जस्ट लेट मी रिमाइंड वन थिंग ना, मेरे को पता है, मैंने तो पूरा लिस्ट बना के रखा है ऑल द स्टैट्स अगेंस्ट अस. फ्रेंच टीम बीटिंग एन इटालियन टीम, द ओनली टीम, दिस वन, दैट्स वन. द लास्ट टाइम, वो ये मैं प्रीव्यू में बोलूंगा, बट देयर इज लाइक अ होल लिस्ट ऑफ स्टैट्स दैट आर नॉट इन इंटर्स फेवर. एक ही चीज बोलूंगा भाई, ये सेमीफाइनल में भी यही था, क्वार्टर फाइनल में भी ऐसे ही स्टैट्स थे, एंड इवेंचुअली वी ओवरकेम दोस. सो भाई, जो जो ऑन द डे होना होता है ना, वो होता है. ये सब जिंक्सिंग विक्सिंग, ये भूल जाओ. मैं तो इस पे फोकस नहीं करता. जो होगा वो होगा फाइनल में. सेमीफाइनल में भी ऐसे ही स्टैट्स थे, क्वार्टर्स में भी ऐसे ही स्टैट्स थे, बट इवेंचुअली वी आर स्टिल इन द फाइनल, राइट? सो आलू बिरयानी सेज हाय. Boydayan is here. Nice to have you. Does winning the Copa guarantee a Europa League spot? So does it paper over the cracks for Milan? अच्छा question है. Very briefly, do you want to touch up? It does guarantee a
No,
Europa League spot, but do you think it's papering over the
not
cracks,
at all.
Chintan?
Not at all. On the contrary, the league position pretty much suggests where we are right now. I feel a Coppa Italia win right now. I'm not saying it is luck because Milan have worked hard to be here after getting to two legs against Inter. Roma के साथ convincing victory था. But your league table shows the problems Milan are currently facing right now. So not at all. I think this trophy, जो कोई अभी mention किया था, I like to connect that also. Winning this trophy also should not be a thing like, okay, Milan are okay. Milan are not okay right now. We are in a turmoil. Conceição looks like he wants to leave. Matlab, I'm a big fan. I don't know why he should not leave, but too much turmoil. There's too much happening. जैसे हम लोग बोलो ना कि स्टेबिलिटी की बात कर रहे हैं, doesn't matter how good Milan players are, but ये स्टेबिलिटी नहीं रहेगा जब तक हायरार्की में स्टेबिलिटी नहीं आएगा. तो I तो feel on the contrary this is worse right now. If we win this, it just shows that this team ended up winning a Coppa Italia where we messed up Champions League and we messed up the league table.
Fair enough. Aloo biryani, the last time agar tu major Inter Toto Cup agar tu count, obviously not doesn't exist anymore, but that was the last trophy, like the major kind of trophy they won in 98. Serie A title उनका last था 63-64 season और Coppa Italia 73-74 में जीते थे. तू अगर लेस मेजर बोलेगा तो ऑब्वियसली सेरिया बी टाइटल 96 में. सो essentially 1998 Intertoto Cup और Serie in 1963-64. And interestingly, अजय भाई ने भी ये उस दिन स्ट्रीम पे बोला था, the last time and the only time a Serie title ever went to a playoff was between Bologna and Inter, and Bologna won that playoff. So, so Bologna have, obviously Bologna do have a lot of Serie A titles. I think they have seven Serie A titles. Correct if I'm not wrong. So yeah. I want to be surprised if so I will be surprised if Redbird sells Reinders for his reported 67 million euro price tag. वो टोनाली को भी बेच दिया था. अच्छा, he won't be, sorry, my bad, I misread that.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah,
There's no
देखते
surprise at all.
Yeah.
परम अभी कुछ नहीं बोल सकते इनका. If it's a money ball thing, कुछ नहीं बोल सकते as of now. Even if it's a 200, I've been telling this one thing throughout every time. Sell every single player, but Tijani cannot be sold. You cannot get another Tijani Reinders. We can get another profile everywhere. I would not sell Tijani, but I won't trust them.
Yeah. टोनाली तो इटालियन भी था, वो मिलान छोड़ दिया था. नाउ ऑन द वे टू गेट टू यूसीएल विद न्यूकासल, फिनिश सेकंड इन द लीग. हाँ, देखते हैं. बट टोनाली को भी रिलक्टेंटली छोड़ा ना उसने, लाइक उसको छोड़ना नहीं था. What are we hoping for? I'm assuming you're a Milanista Woofy. I'll get to the predictions. Well, star your comment predictions will come to. Bologna के बारे में बताओ players तो watch out for Orsolini, Masterclass, Lukumi has been out of form I guess थोड़ा. So I'll touch on that. देख form wise अगर मैं देखूँ ना अभिजय, देख you first of all जब they recently played AC Milan, right? They lost 3-1. They had a lot of absentees in that game. Endoy was not available. Emil Holm was not available. Santiago Castro. Yeah, Lukumi. Yeah. Santiago Castro has been dealing with a niggle in his ankle for like about 2 months now, and that's why he's not starting over Dalinga. Italiano ने already hint दे दिया कि Dalinga is going to start tonight. Predicted lineup में because Castro का थोड़ा ankle issues चल रहे, but they have their full squad apart from Martin or Rich available. Who should you watch out for player wise, quality wise? Orsolini, obviously. मतलब Orsolini has scored 13 goals for Bologna this season and he's just been brilliant. And अगर उसके assist भी पकड़ो तो 16 हो जाता है. तो he's been explosive from that right side. Juan Miranda, आप लोग ला लीगा से जानते हो कि फॉर्मर बेटिस प्लेयर, ही सेटल्ड इन वेरी वेल एट लेफ्ट बैक. असिस्ट भी अच्छे डालता है. और उसका बैकअप जो है लिक्को जियानेस करके वेटरन है, सेरिया वेटरन है, अच्छा प्लेयर. डैन एंडोय ऐसा प्लेयर है चिंता में, वो किधर भी खेल सकता है पिच पे. राइट विंग बैक, नंबर 10, लेफ्ट विंग बैक, सपोर्ट स्ट्राइकर, मतलब राइट विंग, लेफ्ट विंग. ही इज दैट प्लेयर यू ऑलवेज वॉच आउट फॉर. वो उसका गोल देखा आपको याद है चिंता अगेंस्ट नेपोली, दैट फ्लिक ही डिड एट द मैराडोना. ओ माय गॉड, लाइक Thuram type goal tha basically, but you could say maybe a bit more difficult also probably. So Lukumi is definitely one to watch out for. Abhijay, but मैं एक चीज बोलूंगा, चिंतन भाई will agree with me on this probably, कि जब Boykem और Lukumi का जो pair is very solid, but when they have an off night, it's a horribly off night. There is no middle ground. Like when they get beat, they get embarrassed on the pitch. Like they get nutmegged, they get floored, everything, and I've seen that picture too many times. Not too many times, that's a bit of a stretch, but I've seen that happen. तो हम लोग tactics बात करते हैं, but I would say these are the players. Lukumi is great, Lukumi is good, Boykem is good. You watch out for Bologna as a team. Remo Freuler in midfield. So you definitely have to. Lewis Ferguson, Chintan bhai, even after his ACL. Yeah, he's still a very good player. So देखते हैं. These are the players I would say. We'll discuss tactics. Patrick Vieira, Inter legend. Like Motta left Bologna for Juve and now they can win a trophy. How big will this be for them? Because as a neutral, I love those storylines. हाँ, मतलब Bologna के लिए भाई आलू बिरयानी will be a very big story. देख, you're talking about starting a new cycle in a league. You're start looking at maybe a new club emerge and compete for the top spots. ये इटली में आजकल इतना नहीं होता. तेरे बिग थ्री होते हैं, तेरा नापोली होता है, तेरा एटालांटा होता है, एंड रोमा लाजियो जगल. Then you're talking about a new force. You're talking about the league becoming more competitive. जैसे चिंतन भाई ने बोला, Bologna will start attracting players more consistently, right? So
Yeah.
it's huge. I hope it. I मतलब as a neutral, I like to see these stories. I agree with that actually, but again, पैसा नहीं है भाई मतलब हर चीज के लिए. But देखते हैं. Milan might win a trophy before us being Inter. Obviously, this is one of the worst times to be an Inter fan.
भगवान करे सबको ऐसे वर्स्ट सीजन मिले.
Wataru Endo. What about Wataru Endo? Sorry, Wataru Endo. Wataru Endo. I didn't like. Can you specify? Of course, on social media for banter, it's good to see our travels going on, but still haven't got any. Hey, yeah, you're a new fan. Fair enough. Um, 25 plus years. Yes. I'll come to Louis Ferguson, but let's discuss the game, Chintan bhai. What do you make of the Milan squad? That is, I'll start this comment, Bodhan, so I'll come to it. अवेलेबिलिटी वाइज मुझे बताओ क्या न्यूज़ है मिलान के स्क्वाड का, क्या चल रहा है, मतलब हु इज अवेलेबल, हु इज नॉट अवेलेबल, व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन.
आई थिंक टोमोरी शुड, मतलब टोमोरी का इंजरी स्केयर लास्ट गेम में हुआ था, वो सब्ड ऑफ, फ्रीक एक्सीडेंट जैसा हुआ था, बट आई थिंक टोमोरी इज बीन ट्रेनिंग, सो टोमोरी शुड बी बैक. लियाओ लकीली, जो जब मिलान को सबसे स्कैरी चीज लास्ट गेम में देखने मिला था वो वाओ फीलिक्स स्टार्ट, सो फाइनली वी सी लियाओ बैक, ही इज बैक फ्रॉम हिज सस्पेंशन, एंड फोफाना विल बी बैक. सो I pretty much feel that RLC मतलब RLC को replace कर लेगा फोफाना, and Felix को replace करेगा लियाओ, and Tomori should start. More or less should be same against Param, same the back three with I think ये back three Gabbia, Tomori and Pavlovic set हो गया है, and it feels like Milan will stick to that. And of course लियाओ का suspension था तो good, like Milan had a wonderful game. I know Bologna also had a few players missing. Milan had 2-3 players missing, but seeing Liao back is amazing because Liao gets that little bit of freedom also in this formation, and good to see Pulisic coming on his own also. And of course, the biggest question will be who will start as up front. I think Baki sab set hai, but who will start as a striker because Santiago is back in form, and Jovic has been actually instrumental to pull Milan out of this small little rut we were. Oh, he's been amazing with his hold-up play and all. So that's the only question. I would still start Jovic. Or I know Jimenez has been scoring, like he scored few goals here and there. I will still start with Jovic because his hold-up play, he's gelled up pretty well. He knows the team also for a while. I think वो ये 3-4-3 में बैठ गया, उसका set हो गया है थोड़ा. So I'll go with him, but that's the only issue. बाकी तो पूरा टीम मेरे को set लग रहा है. So I expect this starting 11 for Milan.
Yeah, I will pull up something on the screen as well, predicted lineup के हिसाब से, because we'll be discussing more apart from that, but might as well cover the predicted lineups very
But
quickly.
I would like to say Param, it's very funny because Conceição Param openly said it that this is not the formation he likes. He goes with a 4-4-2, उसको अच्छा लगता है, वरना 4-2-2-2 जैसा वो खेलता रहता है. So he's not very happy with this formation, but I think he, of course, he's a serial winner, Param. You know it more than anyone. So he wants results, and he knows Milan. He just said it very directly or indirectly. As you know, Param, he does not hold back at all when it comes to management and all. उसने बोल दिया कि यही है मेरे पास सामने टीम पड़ा है. This is the team I have, and this is the only team which is capable of winning. तो उसको पता चल गया he does not have the midfielders, Param. उसके पास हरेरा टाइप्स पोर्टो में उसके पास वो था, वो that Hector Herrera, that bull था बीच में. We don't have that. He needs a player like that, Param, to shield his defenders.
Yeah, he had Otavio as well. So वो एक है नहीं obviously Milan के पास.
So that is he's adjusted pretty decently to this formation because it gives Fofana again. He's not a defensive midfielder, Param. He's not a defensive midfielder, and nor is of course Tijani. Tijani has to be pushed up, and you know how he's linked with everyone else right now. So to give and here even defenders like Tomori who are aggressive can push up front because they have coverage behind. And I'm seeing Pavlovic, of course, जब से उसके rumors आए हैं, Pavlovic left-footed है. Left-footed defenders are rare, Param. You have one of the best left-footed defenders in the world right now. It brings another angle to it. Gabbia is probably the last stay behind जो end में खड़ा रहता है. So I feel as a team this works well, but Conceição is not happy with this formation. Results are there, but this is not his preferred formation.
Yeah. So looking at the probable lineups, obviously, अगर मैं देखूं very quickly तो मिलान के साथ home team, the designated home team, Mike Mignon in goal, Tomori, Gabia, and Pavlovic to make the back three. Then had Alex Jimenez as your right wing back with Fofana and Rangers in midfield. Theo as the left wing back, जो recently चल रहा है Milan का Pulisic, Leao and Jovic to form the attacking trident 3-4-2-1 जैसे बोला है. अगर मैं बोलोनिया के साइड पे जाऊँ, जैसे चिंतन भाई ने ऑब्वियसली राइटली प्रेडिक्ट किया, क्विकली टू शिफ्ट स्कोरोप्सकी इन गोल. देखो स्कोरोप्सकी बहुत अच्छा गोलकीपर है. जब उसको वो डेस्परेट सेव्स करने रहते हैं ना, वो बचाएगा. ही इज दैट काइंड ऑफ कीपर. ही हैज डिसेंट रिफ्लेक्सेस, प्रीटी डिसेंट आई वुड से. कलाब्रिया इज बैक. बीच में ऑब्वियसली वो सस्पेंड भी हुआ था विद द होल अल्ट्रा सिनेरियो, इफ यू रिमेंबर चिंतन भाई. He was one of the suspended players. Obviously, ex-player against you guys, so it remains to be seen how he performs again. Boykem और लुकुमी के बारे में हमने just बात की अभी. They will be the center back duo. Again, very solid. अगर ये लोग का concentration level जब high होता है चिंतन भाई, they are very solid. But if it dips, they can be very terrible. Against Inter, these two were very brilliant. I can tell you that. Juan Miranda, मैंने बोला, he has the most assists for Bologna this season at 6. He's found his form. Former Real Betis player. Lewis Ferguson ACL से obviously थोड़ी देर पहले वापस आया. Dangerous player है. You know, he will attack, he will command that midfield. He is a Bologna captain. Remo Freuler, जैसे मैंने बोला, underrated player, former Atalanta player, very experienced, good at winning the ball. You know, again, his partnership with Ferguson is very good. Orsolini, the star man, Chintan Bhai from the right, again, highest G+A contribution. You know, just great cutting in from the right. Can score bicycle, can score curlers. Bicycle तो इंटर के अगेंस्ट देख लिया आपने. कर्लर भी मारता है डिस्टेंस से. इन स्विंगर्स वेरी गुड विद हिज कॉर्नर्स एज वेल, सो कीप एन आई. Jens Odegaard, former Inter youth product, and suddenly, like not suddenly, but over the years he's improved and become a good decent talent.
Before he's a very इसके Odegaard का performance ऐसा very under the radar जाता है because he's not flashy, of course, but एक बोल सकते हैं, probably बोल सकता है, probably their mainstay बोल सकते हैं, like he would be one of the first in their starting 11.
Yeah, मतलब ये वो 10 रोल में मस्त खेलता है. he has that kind of knack of finishing also, you know. वो थोड़ा क्लिनिकल भी है. अभी आपके लास्ट दो डैन एंडॉय और ऑब्वियसली टाइस डालिंगा. डैन एंडॉय मैं बोल रहा हूँ भाई, दिस गाय विल रोम अराउंड द पिच एनीवेयर. इसको इटालियन में बोलेगा तो विंग बैक खेलिए, विंग बैक खेलेगा तो बोलेगा एज अ सपोर्ट स्ट्राइकर खेल. सो ही इज वेरी वर्सटाइल. दिस इज द प्लेयर मिलान नीड टू काइंड ऑफ मार्क आउट, बिकॉज इसकी टेक्निकल एबिलिटी जो है ना, ये लिंकअप करके दूसरों को आराम से प्ले में ला सकता है. This is the danger guy for me, like along with Orsolini. And then you have Dalinga up front जो ठीक खेल रहा है. Obviously he's generally been benched by Santiago Castro, but he's still a decent player. I know Chintan Bhai is not a big fan of him, but yeah, I still feel he's a decent player. 4-2-3-1 expected है. Castro, जैसे मैंने बोला था, he's not fully fit, but there is a possibility he could start. Basically,
I think Dalinga, he's I think openly बोल दिया कि डालिंगा स्टार्ट करेगा, but I will see Castro in the game for sure.
Yeah. Basically इधर जो इटालियन में लिखा है to simply translate, डालिंगा यार मोस्टली स्टार्ट करेगा. और आपका क्या बोलते हैं, Ferguson और Freuler will be the midfield pairing. So those are the predicted lineups. Let me just quickly take a few comments before I just pull up stuff on Twitter about what the feeling is like in about the game. I saw Bologna against us. They are very impressive, says Alu Biryani. So he is a move talking about the Liverpool Bologna game. Calabria versus Leao थोड़ा देखना है, वो भी मजा आएगा देखने में. मैंने वही बोला ना, Freuler actually has been underrated. अगर मेरे को ये सीजन का एक underrated लिस्ट बनाना होता ना प्लेयर्स का, without any age restrictions, I would put Freuler there. He has that experience in him still. वो Atalanta का former experience, you know, winning the ball, kind of moving in the right areas, covering the right zones. You know, you need that kind of a player. Manash Kaiser says, I haven't followed Bologna this season. How are they? They were good last season. So Chintan, do you want to briefly cap as a opponent? मैं तो बार-बार बोलते ही जा रहा हूँ. आप भी as an opponent, if you just want to give a brief.
Very impressive. I think if you go to see from where they left off last season, of course they reached their all-time high last season. उसके बाद losing their main players, losing their manager, and to be where they are right now, very impressive. Probably more like a complete football जैसा खेल रहे हैं. As you said, they're doing well with certain veterans also, getting the best out of certain players जो सबको लगा limited था. So he's getting the best out of everyone and unexpected for almost everyone. They are where they are right now, deservedly so. So I think very impressive, to be very honest. On the contrary, if you actually ask me to weigh in 2 seasons, even if they finish out of Champions League football this season as well, I would still rate this season better than the last season. purely because of the turmoil they had at the start of the season. So I would rate their season that highly right now. If they finish in any of the European spots, hoping they lose tonight, let's hope. I hope they lose tonight. I want them to finish in European spots, and I think it's kudos to them that they played the Champions League good, little out of depth. Of course, first timers say, yaar. So where they are right now, Param, without Champions League football, also, I will rate this season. Might be a very unpopular opinion, but I'll still rate this season better than last season for them.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Guys, taking because Abhijay has also asked that question, and maybe I'll give my perspective here. Has this been a better season for Bologna than last? And ये question अच्छा है because it's tough to answer, but एक चीज से अगर आप बोलो, मैं जो बार बार बोलता हूँ ना कि जो इटालियनो को मिला after Calafiori left, after Zirkzee left,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's trash, but to have Martin Ehrlich replace Calafiori, I'm sorry, that's not the answer. Louis Ferguson still had ACL. He was
He
out
was
with
not able to.
ACL. Exactly. Dalinga, their expensive strikers got benched by Castro. Not that it's a bad thing, but a young player like Castro had to step up immediately. Dan Endoy का slow start हुआ था. You know, tactically हिल गया था पूरा foundation because Italian और Motta, अब लोगों को लगता होगा बाहर से they play the same way, but they don't play the
They
same way.
don't. Different
Yeah,
philosophy.
exactly. Italiano has his flaws. I don't want to say he's perfect suddenly because he's doing well. उसको अभी भी managing distances between player on the pitch and all, he's not great at it. But and Champions League में नहीं किया उसने अच्छा. But you know, मैं वही बार बार बोल रहा था, turn around, mentally convincing these players, it's not easy. कि भाई हमें फिर से चैंपियंस लीग के लिए फाइट करना है. It's not simple. ठीक है, लोग बोलेंगे अरे मिलान फेल ऑफ इसलिए वो एक स्लॉट खुल जाता है, रोमा फेल ऑफ. भाई पर फिर भी वो पुश करना ना. एनी अदर क्लब कुड हैव मेड दैट पुश, राइट चिंतन में? फ्योरेंटीना, लाज़ियो, both these clubs also dropped off. आप फ्योरेंटीना, you guys can also now overtake Fiorentina. I think you already have.
You
So
already have.
yeah, exactly. The point, and बोलोने इधर बैठ के बोल रहे हैं भाई हम लोग तो चाहे तो हम लोग यूए को भी पकड़ सकते हैं. So mentally convincing these guys halfway through the season when they've just had a terrible Champions League campaign, while he has lost finals, you have to give him credit that he always finds a way to get his teams to a final. मैं
Yeah.
उसका सबसे बड़ा क्रिटिक रहा हूँ. आई एम नॉट स्टिल लाइक फुली ऑन बोर्ड विथ हिम, बट आई हैव टू गिव हिम क्रेडिट कि भाई मेंटली हाउ इज दिस गाय एवरी सीजन चिंतन में, हाउ द हेल इज दिस गाय कन्विंसिंग these guys to push their limits and reach a fucking final. It's amazing. And I'm Chintan, you at AC Milan, given where you guys are right now, you'd like to have such a coach right now.
Of
Nothing
course.
against Conceição, but to week season on season push these guys कि चलो भाई final पहुंचना है, and he's doing it. It's fucking insane, and I feel this would be better. I agree with Chintan bhai कि this is slightly better than what Mota did in his last season. I'm not kind of comparing, but you get my point. It's a very tough job. In case Conceição leaves, do they go back to their ex-flames Pioli or Allegri? It's a good question कि कौन बनेगा कोच. सारी से लिंक्स है, ये है वो है. But Chintan, very briefly, do you maybe just answer in yes or no? Do you want Conceição to stay? Yes or
Yeah,
no?
of course. Conceição, of course, you
Fair
can't
enough.
let him go.
Yeah. Odegaard having a better season than Odegaard. Sad noises. Any sellable assets? देख, sellable assets तो बहुत ऐसे देखिएगा तो टेक्निकली पूरा टीम ही आ जाता है ऑलमोस्ट उसमें. मिरांडा, लुइस फर्ग्यूसन,
पोपेगा को छोड़ के.
Pobega. Oh fuck, I forgot about Pobega यार.
He
Like
started as he plays now. He was the Freuler के जगह पे वही खेला ना last game.
yeah.
But I feel ये सब में I feel the most sellable asset, the most teams would want a player is Endoy. जो नापोली में फिट हो जाएगा, इंटर में फिट हो जाएगा. So he is their best asset to sell right now. Lukumi is of course he's linked with Liverpool and all also. But जो अभी सेरिया में दूसरे कोई टीम में फिट हो जाएगा, if people want to pick up a ready-made सेरिया player, तो मेरे को एंडॉय लगता है.
मैं जब दीपेश ने ऊपर बोला इंटरिस्टा, उसने बोला ना कि you would sign Endoy over Luis Enrique of Marseille. I agree with him 100%. Like I know Luis Enrique has improved a lot, but if we actually shell 30 million or 25 million on Luis Enrique, I would be a bit skeptic. मैं वो पैसा एंडॉय पर डाल दूं भाई. Like बोलोनिया से और कोई प्लेयर ना मिले, लुकुमी ना मिले, चलेगा, मेरे को एंडॉय लाके दो अब. But Endoy is also that kind of a player who is not going to accept being benched. So that's a whole different conversation. Endoy, Castro, Orsolini, again, sellable. But they can, I personally hope, na, just on a side note, they retain all these players, at least most of them. I need all these clubs to come up, Chintan as a neutral, right? I would
Yeah,
love
yeah,
to see, as fans of our clubs, अपने को चाहिए ये सब player अपने team में बराबर. You'd love to have Endoy, as you said. I'd love to have a Lukumi, whatever it is. But just from an objective perspective, I hope Bologna retains their players. I really hope here. Bus हो गया.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I really want these.
For the league, yes, that's what
Yeah,
basically you want them to go the Atlanta way.
yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. Some through official or some unofficial conversations we've got to know कि बोलोनिया इंडियन मार्केट में बहुत इंटरेस्टेड है. चिंतन भाई को भी पता है,
Yeah,
अपना डिस्कशन हुआ था. बोलोनिया इज वेरी इंटरेस्टेड इन द इंडियन मार्केट एंड यू नेवर नो. अगर बोलोनिया अच्छा करते रहे तो क्या पता लोग बोलोनिया से सिंपथाइज करें. जैसे एटलांटा फैंस आ गए इंडिया में, क्या पता एक दिन बोलोनिया फैंस आ गए. इफ दे रियली टैप इनटू द इंडियन मार्केट, यू नेवर नो. आई डोंट नो हाउ मच चिंतन भाई फॉलोज पीएल. ही डज, ही जैसे लिखा है अभिजय ने, he has a soft spot for Arsenal. Andoni Iraola.
वो हाँ
हाँ,
अच्छा. Oh boss, amazing. Love what he's done with Bournemouth. क्या मजा आता है उसको. क्लाइवर्ट को तो क्या, I would love him anytime. I have a soft spot नहीं बोल सकते, but I like Spanish managers. Like मेरे को Spanish managers अच्छे लगते हैं. They have a certain philosophy which suits,
Iraola.
yeah, which suits Milan also. So like a sense that I would love it because what he's done with Bournemouth, amazing. I'm very very impressed. But जैसा अभिजय बोला, I don't know. Like I think he could be Arteta's replacement. हो सकता है. But yeah, on that topic, I think Arteta, like boss, अभी कितने seasons हो गए, trophy कभी जीतेगा अभिजय. मतलब how many more years you give him? Even though I also like Arteta as a manager, but if Param, if you United and Spurs and one of them is going to end up winning a trophy, very
Yes.
sad. Probably I'm just a soft spot. I can totally understand with other Gunners what they're going through. But even as an outsider, I feel like, oh God, it's very harsh to see one of these teams winning Europa League. Spurs जीत गए तो बाप रे. I think Arsenal fans गायब हो जाएंगे एक साल के लिए.
Yeah.
But yeah, his question, yeah, I would love it, but I would want
Cling, obviously
Conceição to
somebody.
stay.
Fair enough, fair enough. Showing his love for Milan and hate for Inter. Fair play, fair play. ये तो चलते रह रहा है banter in the comments. There is Chiesa की Napoli के links आ रहे हैं. Gazzetta is the main source, so I would say अभी के लिए take it with a pinch of salt. एकदम से मत don't jump the boat right now. It's mainly Gazzetta dello Sport. There is a possibility, but let's see. Yeah, of course, Jonathan David ke liye, they are in the lead because they are the only club who has presented a proper offer. Inter never presented an offer to Jonathan David. They've just had initial talks. KDB, yes, KDB is considering signing for Napoli, but let's see where that
It's
goes.
surprising, Param, no one is going for him. Like it's very
Yeah,
surprising how no other
yeah.
clubs are, because he'll fit right into Inter, right into Milan, right into Juve. Of course, Juve has coup minors, but he'll
The
fit right
fitness
into
side,
almost.
I have a feeling KDB का बोल रहे हो, right?
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's the fitness side. Because off late we have seen, right, उसके injuries थोड़ी ज़्यादा बढ़ गई है.
But
I know
Param,
he's
he's
an
not.
elite player. He's an
Yeah, but
elite
Param,
player.
he's the kind of, again, the reason why Milan didn't pursue. I don't know why Milan did not pursue Dybala.
Yeah.
Milan were heavily linked with Dybala, but a player like this, Param, might just give you glimpses in one or two big games which you need to
Of
win
course,
the
of
game.
course, of course, of course. No, no.
I,
Look,
it, it's like if we get him, if example he was at Inter right now, bench him, bloody rest him for every Serie A game. Get him against Barca, get him against PSG. He'll win you
yeah.
the games eventually.
But Napoli is trying to be active on the market. Florentino Luis से भी talks चालू किए उन्होंने, so they are definitely looking to do something. Forza Calabria says
Oh,
Sachin Madan.
Sachin is my he's my
Yeah,
one of my bestie. I know he's वो रूठा हुआ मिलान फैन है. अभी हमें काफी सारे रूठे हुए मिलान फैंस हैं. So yeah, he's rooting for Calabria, of course.
yeah. We are doing ये obviously Arsenal की बातें नहीं करेंगे, टेंशन मतलब wages हो जाएगा. I feel he'll take a cut, and obviously you have to consider other factors like lifestyle and everything. You know, they've been house hunting and everything in Naples, so that move is likely. Massive yes, but there is a possibility. Which player profile should Milan, ये मैं थोड़ी देर में लेता हूँ. Let's get back to the discussion of Coppa Italia. Conte, there is still a possibility of Conte leaving. See, there are still fresh reports that Juventus want Conte to be their next coach, and you know Conte का scenario अभी भी confirmed नहीं है. So Conte would still leave. But let me just show you guys some scenes from the Coppa Italia from Rome, or the general mood around the Coppa Italia final, because you have see this is what I was talking about भाई कि इनको actual ये speech which देना पड़ता है
Yeah,
you know in proper suits like Simone Inzaghi has been doing this every season so यार Italiano do this अब पूरी teams बैठी रहती है सामने I can't play the audio नहीं तो copyright लग जाएगा भाई नहीं और बैंड बज जाएगा I'll show you some other scenes obviously Bologna fans in Rome enjoying there are some Milan photos as well ये Bologna के थोड़े दिखा दूँ और Milan के भी है don't worry I just saw it here somewhere yeah, you have the Mil Karva Sud, obviously Milan Ultras as well on song. Roberto Baggio obviously traveling with the Coppa Italia trophy Chintan bhai. So
yeah,
because Frecciarosa is the sponsor, obviously train hai.
of
तो उसी
course.
ट्रेन से obviously they transport the trophy. So always good to see Roberto Baggio Chintan bhai. Maybe it's always obviously he's a legend. Obviously Bologna के लिए खेल चुका है ये वो. And yeah, it's always good to see him. I mean,
But what I like about Param about this whole thing is even in this whole thing, what I like about Italy is they
yeah,
upheld their traditions, which is very good to see. You need to
yeah,
do
yeah,
that because eventually it is a part of your culture. It is the
exactly,
part we should respect, and that is why these trophies Param mean so much to the clubs. That
exactly.
is why, and I'm going to link this to certain thing is because these trophies mean so much to these clubs and the fans. That is why sometimes they get so upset when an owner is not directly invested mentally and physically into the club.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. And I agree with you. Tradition part वो मुझे पसंद आता है because कोपा इटालिया का फाइनल कभी भी ट्यून इन करो ना एक ग्रैंड एटमॉस्फेयर रहता है. You see the two teams in at the Olympico with their grand tifos. मैं ये generally बोल रहा हूँ.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you have the national anthem, then you have that grandeur, like एक वो अलग vibe रहता है. I watched it with the Inter finals all over the years. बहुत मजा आता है कोपा इटालिया फाइनल एक्सपीरियंस करने में. It might not be the I've said this. It's probably the worst cup competition across the top 5 leagues. But जब वो फाइनल की बात आती है ना, I feel it is one of the best organized. वो एक सिर्फ फाइनल की जब बात आती है. Other than that, I don't know how much I should
ये
praise it.
ये आरएस का कमेंट देख के मजा आ गया यार ये तो
या
वंदे भारत लग
वंदे
रहा है
भारत पूछो मत भाई जब मैं धर्मशाला में अटका था तो वंदे भारत की बात चल रही थी उसी से वापस आने की बट मिले नहीं हम लोग को तो गाड़ी से 10 घंटा चल के आना पड़ा बट या मोर मिलान फैंस ऑब्वियसली इन रोम आई शैल नॉट प्ले द ऑडियो नहीं तो बैंड बज जाएगा बट या ऑब्वियसली whatever scenes I can show more Milan fans again Bologna के बारे में भी कुछ होना तो चाहिए so I'll pull stuff up as and when we'll close the stream very shortly I'll just look at more. I'll just discuss a few tactics, Chintan bhai. We'll look at some more news and close the stream with the comments. Just take a few. All this for content. Oh, sorry, ये ले लिया मैंने. यार ये मतलब bold है तो अब क्या ही बोलूं. If Bologna win Coppa Italia format change can be something which can be thought about. I think it should already be thought about,
Yeah,
Chintan bhai. Just on a
regardless of
general.
this is a very Empoli Bologna semi-finals was a very big rarity. It doesn't happen. You usually
Yeah,
see at least 3 to 4 top 4 में से कम 3 club ऐसी रहेगी जो टाइटल के लिए
yeah.
fight कर रहे हैं. So it needs to change and this double leg and home advantage for the
Hmm.
higher ranked team should change pretty much right now.
Yeah. सबसे पहले चीज ना start allowing fucking Serie C and Serie D clubs to be a part of this. ये लोग ने वो हटा दिया ना तब से मेरा दिमाग घूम गया. Like you can't just remove two divisions that were part of the competition and say अरे हाँ ये cup competition सिर्फ top two divisions में होगा. ऐसे नहीं चलता है. Like I know Chintan में the stadiums in Italy are bad and players can get injured on their away
But
travels, but
Param, you
sorry,
see that's the beauty of FA Cup, right? You see where a team goes to
that's
play, where
the
a train is passing through, where
अरे
the people
वही
are seeing from their homes. It's
yeah,
amazing.
forget FA Cup. Forget FA Cup. I respect the FA Cup. Don't get me. I love the FA Cup format as well. You know, it starts with over 700 teams, 750 teams से ऊपर से start होता है. Copa del Rey, where do you have to go? DFB Pokal कहाँ से चालू करना पड़ता है? You see Bayern Munich getting knocked out by you fucking see Sandhausen and all doing well. अरे भाई, this is why cup competitions exist.
Yeah.
आप इधर बड़े टीम को ही होम एडवांटेज दे देते हो मतलब आधा हाफ द बैटल यू हैव लॉस्ट देयर ओनली राइट सो I don't understand. So like yeah, it's quite a weird thing. I agree with you. Maybe they can do something like a group stage or I don't know, but something has to
No,
change.
just like an FA Cup. FA Cup starts very early. You start with the lower teams, let them play off. You are a higher ranked team, so you can go up pretty much.
Yeah.
Later on you can join in because you finish higher up the league, you can join the competition later on, but it needs to start. They need certain incentive. You need that audience to see a Milan or an Inter, or
Yeah.
you will go to a smaller stadium to play.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see that. That is the
And
beauty of football.
I agree. And maybe if some underdog makes it to the final, let's say, then you can always change the venue. I know the logistics of it, but you if you think यार दो छोटे टीम फाइनल में पहुंचे और ठीक है हम लोग स्टेडियम नहीं भर सकते, स्विच द वेन्यू अप. यू डोंट ऑलवेज हैव टू हैव इट इन रोम. आई नो रोम का वो एक चार्म है, ओलंपिको का वो एक चार्म है, बट यू नीड दी स्टोरीज यार. लाइक ये
No, but that
बोलोनिया.
is okay. Param, अगर ये final में हो गया, people are going to, like, you think Bologna fans will fill up the entire Rome का stadium, like, Olympico,
Yeah.
because it is that
I-
you want to see,
yeah.
over there. Because, and even if Param, so let's see if Milan wins. Although Milan are winning after 23 years, that is on Milan not winning the trophy. It is still
Yeah.
a big club who ended up winning a trophy again.
Yeah, agreed. Just a last few comments. We close the discussion very soon. ये तो मैं भाई प्रे कर रहा हूँ, मैं
Yeah,
GXR से
yeah.
तंग आ गया हूँ
अब
भाई.
अभी
Like,
अभी हम लोग ज्यादा बोलेंगे नहीं, but there are a lot of things going on. We don't want to upset the current.
I think pretty much everyone knows कि mostly GXR. One thing else is pretty much it's out there कि GXR is mostly not going to continue next season onwards. ये तो pretty much confirmed ही हो रहा है. I think an official thing is the only thing pending because आज का भी final GXR पे है, and we know already the viewing experience is not going to be great, and it's a fucking final, and it's just terrible that it should not be like this. Kudos to, I mean, we all watch La Liga, we all watch different leagues, me and Chintan Bhai as well. Good to see that it was immediately snapped up by fan code, and you see the drastic difference
Oh
in
yes,
quality.
oh yes,
Just
yes. एल क्लासिको मजा आ गया देखने में.
मजा. एंड देखो ना, मैं एक चीज बोलता, आई नो हम सबको फ्री में चीजें पसंद होती है, पे नहीं करना होता है, बट फैन कोड इज जनरली चीप, दे आर रीजनेबल. भाई अगर आपको स्टेबल क्वालिटी चाहिए तो थोड़ा तो पैसा भरना पड़ता है. दैट्स द रियलिटी, दैट्स द
Course,
वर्ल्ड वी लिव इन. हर अच्छी चीज फ्री में नहीं मिल सकती यार, ये रियलिटी लोगों को
and
फेस
on the
करनी
contrary,
पड़ेगी.
Param, why not? Why not charge for it? Because they're giving
या
us the quality one. You want a good
एग्जैक्टली.
phone, you need to pay a
या
little higher. So for quality, or as you said, probably fan code is one of the most reasonable platforms over here right now.
या दिस इज अ गुड क्वेश्चन. दिस इज अ वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन. चिंतन भाई, I'll start with you. अगर आपको कोई कुछ याद आ रहा है over the top of your head, I like this question. This is a very good question on
मेरे
occasion
को
of the.
एक्चुअली टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, आई एम वेरी वेरी, मेरे को रोमा इंटर का फाइनल जो 7 या कभी हुआ था, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट टाइम, टॉटी के टाइम के, जब टॉटी जीत गया था.
Ah, of
So
course, of course.
that time was little different, and Milan
हाँ.
played the last two-legged था तभी, I think पहले. So
Hmm.
I think Roma. So I enjoyed last year जो Allegri का melting pot जैसा था. I enjoyed last year's final a lot because everyone knew Allegri is leaving. Everyone saw his reaction in the final, and what I like about is Juventus ended up still winning a trophy. So it was a very very interesting final to watch. मेरे को लगा नहीं,
Yeah.
and जो Allegri का antique था, like it was amazing. Oh yeah, रोमा लाजो फाइनल, बट या भाई वो तो डेडली था. और लाजो कभी जीता था 2000, यूवेंटस
Recent वाला बोल रहे हो ना,
या
recent वाला
19,
ना.
नहीं ये
18-19 season, 18
18-19, yes,
Atalanta को.
that
वो
was a good final.
controversial है. Gasperini lost his head after the
Exactly.
final.
I was going to say that Atlanta, that was a very good neutral final because no one expected these two teams to be there. Atlanta, of course, under Gas was doing well, so that was another very decent final था वो.
I'll tell you which one. एक तो मेरा recent बोलूँ ना, Inter Juve 21-22 4 to win over Juventus. जब वो
Yeah.
we led, they made a comeback 2-1 and then we beat them with the Perisic goal
I
at
thought
halftime.
तू मिलान वाला बोलेगा 18, वो डिजास्टर था 3-0 साला.
नहीं
तुम लोग के लिए
वो
अच्छा
नहीं,
था.
but मेरे को हाँ, one I liked a lot. I will tell you is which it's not recent. अपने डार्बी डेला कैपिटाले वाले बोला वो लाजियो where they beat Roma, but one I liked, I'll tell you which one was. 8-9 सीजन में ना, 8-9 सीजन में जो क्या बोलते हैं अपना लाजियो सैम्पडोरिया का फाइनल हुआ था. इट्स अ वेरी फॉरगॉटन फाइनल. आई हैव वेरी हेजी मेमोरी ऑफ इट, बट आई जस्ट रिमेम्बर कि उस सीजन का कोपा इटालिया में टॉप स्कोरर था गोरान पांडेव. एंड दैट मैच ना, चिंतन भाई, वेंट टू पेनल्टीज. और दैट वाज सच अ वियर्ड गेम. You know who scored the 2 goals in that final?
Who?
Zarate, याद है आपको? Zarate,
Of
Mauro
course,
Zarate.
Maro
Mauro
Zarate,
Zarate
Lazio.
opened the scoring and Pazzini scored. And ये दोनों गोल फर्स्ट हाफ में थे और पेनल्टीज में गया. And yeah, and unfortunately for Sampdoria, guess who missed a penalty? एक तो Campagnaro missed किया और the clown that Antonio Cassano is, he missed a
Oh,
penalty.
oh wow.
And yeah, and eventually for Lazio only Tommaso Rocchi missed and they won. Basically, Lichtsteiner was still at Lazio, Kolarov was still at Lazio, and Lazio won that Coppa Italia. I like that final because मुझे थोड़ा vague memory है वो penalty shootouts का, and I just feel it was a unique final because you don't get a final like a Lazio versus Sampdoria that often. So I just, being a different final, I kind of maybe one day we can probably show something on Calcio Church or maybe look back at it, but yeah, which I like this question.
आज
Empoli also.
आज आज एकदम सिंपल फाइनल चाहिए, स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड मिलान विक्ट्री चाहिए, नो
नहीं
ड्रामा,
नहीं,
वेरी
कुछ
बोरिंग
कुछ
फाइनल
ड्रामा
चाहिए मुझे,
चाहिए न्यूट्रल्स के लिए यार, ऐसे थोड़ी
नहीं चाहिए.
आज 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 चिंतन भाई उस पोजीशन में, अभी मैं एज एन इंटर फैन आई हैव बीन इन दैट पोजीशन, 1 point ऑफ द लीग रेस, चैंपियंस लीग फाइनल. टुडे इट्स गुड टू सी somebody else stress over it. Any sorry, any cup comp is special except that league cup in England. तू बोल रहा है Carabao Cup, of course. uh, Italian national anthem is really beautiful,
ओह
fair enough. DFB Pokal also. Yeah, I agree Shivam. मतलब DFB Pokal is elite. I love that competition. एक तो DFB Pokal का trophy भाई,
अमेजिंग, व्हाट अ ट्रॉफी, व्हाट अ
fucking
ट्रॉफी.
I like it more than the Bundesliga shield. I
ओह
love it. भाई वो मतलब
amazing, it
yeah,
feels like, you won something.
yeah, it's so iconic. Like it's fucking crazy how iconic that trophy is. यार, words to Liverpool. भाई transfers के बारे में बात करने के लिए पूरा
भाई
summer ही
यार,
है.
वर्ड्स तो सब जगह लिंक्ड है यार, सिटी के साथ लिंक्ड है, इधर लिंक्ड है.
अपने फनी चीज वही है ना, आप ये कैल्शियो के स्ट्रीम में बोल रहे हो जहां हमारे एक भी क्लब उसको अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकता.
वो 35, नहीं 35 अभी आएगा इंटर
हाँ,
मिलान का.
maybe at best Como can, but वो Copalas or no upsets, give it to FIGC. Give it to FIGC. I sorry, give it to FIGC. What do you mean? The whole concept of cup competitions is that everyone gets to play. Exactly right. Coupe de France again, another elite cup. Like
And
bhai,
PSG almost lost in the semis.
yeah, and these guys have to fucking travel to French territories,
Yeah.
thousands of kilometers away to play the fucking game. Coppa Italia off late chance for Seven Sisters to win a trophy lottery. ये तो बोल सकता है actually. That's a nice one कि भाई कोई कुछ जीत.
तो भी 20 साल से मिलान नहीं जीता है.
हाँ, तो भी that's funny. Like 20 साल से वही. Yeah, exactly. That's why the smaller teams have to be involved. Robbie is here. Milan East, nice to have you, Robbie. तेरे predictions जो भी feeling है game के बारे में बताओ यार. Roma Lazio final and Lazio winning. Ajay bhai should make a video. चिंतन भाई की तरह है तू. You always wait for Ajay bhai's sad videos every morning to fuel you. Inter and Milan have released tenders for the stadium according. हाँ, मतलब दोनों ने खरीद तो लिया, right? At the end of the day, both purchased it. अभी देखते हैं स्टेडियम कब बनेगा, क्या बनेगा यार. मैं तो थक गया हूँ. जब बनना है बने, नहीं बनना है नहीं बने. गाइस, सैन सीरो बंद होगा. हाँ, वो एक अलग टॉपिक है जो हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे.
Winter Olympics, but it's still
I
not confirmed yet.
yeah, but I swear if these guys take the game to USA ना, मेरा दिमाग घूम जाएगा. Casano as a player was no clown. Mince your words. देख, जैसे अजय भाई ने बोला ना, this guy had all the talent in the world and he threw it away. He is a clown, will always be a clown. The way he talks of late, the way he personally attacks, ठीक है, we all are critical of Rafael Leao, right, Chintan bhai? But how much he chases Rafael Leao, how much shit he talks about Simone Inzaghi, he talks about
Listen,
Barella as if Barella is the worst midfielder in the world.
Param, it's a clear agenda दिख रहा है. Param,
Yeah,
he's targeting one of the most flashiest wingers in the league.
yeah,
उसके बारे में बात करेगा तो eyeballs will come on him.
yeah.
Inzaghi के बारे में बात करेगा, eyeballs will come on him. And he's talking about his national teammate Barella, who's Inter's like Italy's best midfielder in God knows how long. So
Yeah.
it is a very Rafael van der Vaart situation. Look at van der Vaart, he
Yeah.
talks shit. So
Yeah.
it is pretty much, I don't give him too much. And
Yeah.
he likes it, it fuels him. Liao response. So उसको fuel मिलता है और कुछ नहीं.
Yeah, yeah. And imagine you having the balls to say Barella के बारे में जैसे like forget it. There's no point of talking about.
But Param,
Again,
it's simple. He won the league with Milan. I'm not saying if you're an Inter fan, fair enough. There's nothing wrong with it. Where Nesta has always maintained he's a Lazio fan. He's always a Lazio fan, born and brought up there. But there's a certain level of respect and charisma he earned at Milan. बट ये मिलान के साथ टाइटल जीत के इंटर जाके बोलता है कि आई लव इंटर और मिलान को बू कर रहा है. सो दिस जस्ट शोज व्हाट अ पर्सन ही इज, कैसा कैरेक्टर है वो.
Yeah, he's a weirdo ना, like वही मेरे को भी नहीं समझता है, because we know he's a at heart he's an Interista, but the amount of shit he talks about Inter as well, like there's not like, forget it, let's not dwell over it. Osimhen
He's
is ठीक
perfect.
है,
I think he summed it up. This is perfect.
या
Sanjay.
संजय मंजरेकर बराबर है। ये अगर ये हम लोग ट्रांसफर स्ट्रीम्स के लिए पूरा समर है तब डिस्कस करेंगे, बट पॉसिबिलिटी लग रही है उसकी। या एग्जैक्टली, आर्मीनिया बिलेफेल्ड, पोकाल गिव्स यू गुड स्टोरीज यार। पोकाल, अमन, नाइस टू हैव यू, नाइस टू हैव यू इन द हाउस, प्लीज डू लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब। या देखो क्रिस्टल पैलेस को भी चांस है, ये कसानो मैटलेट एसियर, yeah, I mean all these legends, like even I've heard Matt Tessier we say some ridiculous things. Any players which top teams can pick? Oof, this is a good question. I don't want
इसके
to
तो एक पूरा
skip
स्ट्रीम
this.
लगेगा.
ये इसके स्ट्रीम लगेगा, वही चीज है। ये ना ट्रांसफर वाली चीजें ना अभी से ना मैं ना स्क्रीनशॉट ले रहा हूँ, ठीक है। यू ऑल्सो नोट दीज बिकॉज दीज आर एक्चुअली गुड क्वेश्चंस एंड आई वांट टू काइंड ऑफ डू इट प्रॉपर जस्टिस, व्हिच आई वांट टू डू इट इन अ ट्रांसफर स्ट्रीम, जो पूरा समर है अपने पास वो करने के लिए।
अरे ब्रो, he was injured. क्या स्टार्ट किया उसने सीजन, बाद में उसका इंजरी ruined him, and look at the Parma dressing room. You saw यूरोस भी कैसे लाइट अप किया था यार. I'll take him at
Yeah.
Milan अगर आ जाएगा तो.
So despite his terrible season, he was close to joining Fiorentina in January, and I still feel he has potential, but he
He
needs to
should have
step
moved
in
because
game.
it's a very, जो बीच में पार्मा में बहुत टॉक्सिसिटी था, मतलब द क्लब वाज नॉट डूइंग बैड, लाइक कितने इंजरीज, परम द नंबर ऑफ
Yeah,
इंजरीज दे हैड, इट डिस्टर्ब्स अ न्यूली प्रमोटेड क्लब.
yeah. And let me just take these two comments and show a few things, and we can wrap this team up. Yes, ये करने वाले. So Serie A भी officially खत्म हो गया. Again, मेरे को we'll discuss it in the stream. Sassuolo convincingly promoted. Pisa are back in the Serie A. Serie A B के playoffs चालू होने वाले, and we will do this because I want to talk about Serie B, and Mitul को आने दो. Mitul is also loves his Serie B. We'll try to get some collab done because we know some foreign creators who cover Serie B, so शायद उनको भी ला दे देखते proper Serie B का cover करने के लिए. Yes, वो तो करने ही वाले थे. Serie हमारा end of the season awards आ रहा है जैसे last season किया था, if you remember. तेरा जो idea था ना अभी जो we'll be dropping polls in the community posts, giving 4 options for each position, and we'll have like a fan made team of the season as well. So सब आएगा. 2 गेम बचे होने तो Amir is here, obviously he's been on the channel before. Chintan bhai knows him. uh, अच्छा, this is for me, sorry. देख कौन से साव ना, आई फील ही इज डन अ, जैसे मैंने चिंतन भाई को बोला, ही इज डन अ प्रेटी डिसेंट जॉब विद द रिसोर्सेज एंड विद द chaos एट एसी मिलान. आई फील सैकिंग हिम, जैसे न्यूज आज तक है कि हम देख रहे हैं कि ही इज मोस्टली लीविंग. Maybe a Coppa Italia final changes that, but I still feel you can't let him go. It just makes no sense. आपको continuity चाहिए. You need something to build. Maurizio Sarri, चलो अगर आपका कोच बनता है फ्यूचर में, you still have to agree to his demands. You know Maurizio Sarri is a very demanding coach, चिंतन भाई. So you have to stick to with this guy. कौन से साव आपको करा रहा है यार, आपको जिता रहा है, आपको एक ट्रॉफी ऑलरेडी निकाल लिया, सेकेंड ट्रॉफी आने वाला है, आ सकता है, सॉरी, आज रात को. It would be very stupid on the Milan management's part to get rid of him. I feel he's done a good job. If I had to rate it on a scale of 10, I would give it a 7, given the situation, the chaos and everything. I feel 7 is a fair rating. I don't want to give it higher than that. थोड़े issues है players के इधर उधर, but I feel generally speaking, he's handled the situation very well. He has flaws, but he is tapping into it. He's beating his arch rival left, right, center convincingly. आप लोग ने हमको
Yes.
absolutely stupid or club's part if you guys let him go, is what I would say. And I know आपके management में chaos है, Furlani, Zlatan, all this, we all know the stories. Simply put, I feel he's done a pretty decent job. 7 on 10. I think he needs to continue at AC Milan. So yeah, that's my opinion, to be honest. Let me know what you think though, Amir. मेरे को भी जानना है आपकी opinion. Yeah, वो हो गया, वो officially हो गया भाई. Why do you guys follow Serie B? I mean, अब
We
इसको मैं
like
कैसे
football, yeah.
We like football, like,
As in, it's okay. We like football. As in,
yeah,
some teams you, which हम लोग ने जो
yeah,
देख के बड़े हुए हैं, sometimes they get relegated. जैसे Sampdoria, हमारे टाइम पे Sampdoria was a pretty decent mid-table team. उसके पहले they were league winners. So you see them and you do follow them. Like Sassuolo आए थे चले गए. Like Pisa, I think in my lifetime I've never seen Pisa in Serie A. But it's
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
story. Sometimes you
yeah,
get the best fearless football in smaller leagues.
yeah.
I like me and Ajay like Leeds United. So I
Yeah,
followed Leeds United also in league. You
भाई
know.
एग्जैक्टली लाइक देख यार देख थॉक में सिंपल चीज बोलूंगा वी हैव नथिंग अगेंस्ट योर क्वेश्चन इट्स अ नॉर्मल क्वेश्चन दैट्स फाइन ये जिसको जो देखना है ना देखे फॉलो करना है मैं खुद मैं ऑनेस्टली ये हजार बार चीजें बोल चुका आई वॉच मोर एशियन फुटबॉल देन ऑलमोस्ट एज और मोर एशियन फुटबॉल देन यूरोपियन फुटबॉल like that's just how I've been watching football for 20 plus years. So Serie B, I feel the stories are better in a lot of other leagues outside Europe. You know, football is not limited to Europe. I watch Indian football as much as European football. As bad as Indian football is, as horrible as Indian football is, वो तो अलग ही स्ट्रीम पे कभी बात करेंगे. बट दैट्स इट यार, जिसको जो देखना है वो देखे, मजे करे. सेरिया बी में बहुत अच्छी स्टोरीज है. सेरिया बी में आपको अलग एकदम वाइल्ड स्टोरीज मिलेंगी जो आपको सेरिया आ में मिल ही नहीं सकती कभी कभी. सो देयर इज अ लॉट. अभी अगर आपने देखा चिंतन में पिज्जा के सेलिब्रेशंस, they were hanging a
Leaning Tower
banner
of
from the
Pisa.
leaning tower of Pisa. I might pull that image
Beautiful.
up here.
Beautiful. Like
Amazing.
I'm
So
saying that is what you know what the passion those smaller clubs have,
exactly,
and
exactly.
they
So they
can
can
Parab, they can these fans can rival the top club fans. मतलब वैसे
exactly.
है भाई.
पिज्जा का फैन कल्चर आप देखो, मैं वीडियोस देखो, मैंने दिखा चुका हूं मैं ऑलरेडी प्रीवियस स्ट्रीम्स में. अगेन एज चिंतन भाई सेड, सम ऑफ दीस फैन कल्चर्स आर बेटर देन द टॉप क्लब्स एंड द स्मॉलर क्लब्स. दैट लोकल, वो जो लोकल ड्राइव रहता है, दैट लोकल पैशन आउट राइवल्स द फॉरेन प्लस लोकल पैशन. यू नो दैट हैपेंस अ लॉट. सो भाई
Yeah.
बहुत सिंपल बोलूंगा, जिसको जो देखना है देखे, जिसको जो मजा करना है करे. सेरिया बी हो, चाहे वो चैंपियनशिप हो. अजय भाई को देखो आप, ही वॉचेस द चैंपियनशिप अ लॉट. Him and Chintan bhai love Leeds United. So people watch what they want. There, it is what it is. It's not that deep. Europa League. चलो क्विकली कर ही देते. I feel क्या लगता है जिंदन में? No
United,
explanation.
United, United. I don't see
Yeah,
Spurs are forever bottlers. I don't see Spurs winning.
yeah, I think Man
And
United.
and I'm telling you, this is coming as my little bias for Arsenal also. Can't have, and generally as football बचाने के लिए can't have Spurs winning, man. So I rather have United.
I like Ange, so I wouldn't mind if Ange won a trophy. Nothing else.
No, but there's something different about United and Europa League. So
Yeah, just wanted to drop it, but he ended up staying, bro. So like he rejected Leverkusen. So I don't know, like you can call him a traitor, but fair enough. By the way, just on a side note, Chintan bhai, Como are looking to sign Brian Cristante. Like Ajay bhai must be partying right now. Ajay bhai will have to take a trip to Lake Como just to felicitate Cristante's signing. मुझे लग रहा है आमिर भाई शेवचेंको वाले है. He is the one who said he is the one who picked Shevchenko over every other Milan player.
no, but Param, I'll say this again. If you remove Paulo out of the equation, okay, I will choose Shevchenko almost because Paulo was a big symbol, and I also became a fan of Milan because of Paulo. But जो मैंने फुटबॉल चालू किया तभी मैंने जो शेवचेंको को देखा था ना परम, terrorizing. So if you
Yeah.
remove Paulo out of the equation, just my bias, and Amir is a very close friend of mine,
Yeah,
and
no,
I think
look, Shevchenko, मैंने भी देखा in my few years of watching him, and look, I've heard a lot of inter-HTC कि एक वो स्ट्राइकर जो टेरराइज करता था वो शेवचेंको था. सो I mean एक तो वो पर्सनल पिक है, वो उसका चॉइस है. ऊपर से दैट्स मोर देन अ फेयर पिक ऑब्जेक्टिवली आल्सो, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. नाइस टू हैव यू आयान यार. अच्छा आप चैट में आ गए. आपके भी थॉट्स दो. कोपा इटालिया फाइनल है. कम ऑन गाइस, आई नीड मोर पीपल टू गिव मोर थॉट्स कि क्या चल रहा है. I just want to show one graphic before I get back to comments. We take predictions and we close this. We discuss a few tactics, Chintan bhai, just very quickly. This graphic is what I wanted to show because I love these graphics which always show ना किस टीम ने कितने बार जीता है, क्या कौन से ईयर में, right? Yeah, I hope this is visible by the way, Chintan
yeah,
bhai,
yeah, it's
guys.
visible.
First ever Coppa Italia was won by Vado. Then you had Torino, Genoa, Juve, Inter. देखो यार, Fiorentina, Venezia की वो legendary टीम थी जो rival करती थी उस टाइम के Grande Torino को. Just almost Venezia was a massive club. अब देखो चिंतन भाई, क्या कौन से क्लब्स यार, लात्सियो, नापोली. You have your obviously AC Milan started winning at that point. Bologna, Napoli also one of you. Obviously Parma's, your Sampdoria's back to back, your Vicenza. Look at the variety, Chintan. Like
Yeah.
it's quite a lot. Like you obviously are the dominant force, and this is the recent one. Obviously, the last column, the last row, as you can see, Lazio, Napoli, Juve, Inter twice, and Juve again. And tonight it remains to be seen कौन जीता. But बस तो अच्छी variety यार Chindan bhai, it's a good competition. You just wish the format was better, right? But it's still a
Yeah.
very prestigious competition as we discussed. But Chindan bhai, let's get to the final section of this before मैं comments पे वापस आऊँ और start comments ले लूँ. Tactics बात करते हैं जरा briefly. अगर आप if it is the predicted lineup as we think it is, which I will pull up again on FootMob, क्या लगता है ये गेम में आपको क्या एरिया की है, वेयर इज दिस वन एंड लॉस्ट, और व्हाट्स योर टेक? बिकॉज I see when Bologna are on their game, when they have all their players, right? It's very hard to break their mid block and the way they press collectively with the aggression they press with. If that is the Bologna that shows up, what does AC Milan need to do to kind of overcome that?
Yeah, I feel last game Loftus-Cheek did pretty well. His
Hmm.
physicality helped a lot. I know there have been fair criticism for Loftus-Cheek, but last game काफी अच्छा किया था.
Hmm.
Basically, this game, जो last game में Felix did get a few chances on the wings, and if you put Leah over there, productivity improves.
Hmm.
So this is again
Hmm.
like I think Liao is going to be very, very crucial
Yeah.
for me, game changer over here. For Milan, this might be a game changer. He will get his space with this formation. A lot of overlaps with Theo, you will see. Felix, I could see that वो overlap नहीं कर पा रहा था because of course वो एक wavelength match नहीं हो रही थी. For me, this is the time, a game where Leo needs to show what he's made of. काफी criticism मिले हैं उसको. Still a match winner. For me, that area, entire part, of course, Calabria is playing its Leo versus Calabria. Calabria,
Yeah.
let's not forget, had done pretty decent against big opponents in the Champions League we faced before. So it's going to be a big matchup, over there. And I feel this back three allows Milan to suck in the pressure. एक
Hmm.
comfort होती है. Tomori is aggressive for him. वो थोड़ा aggressive when it comes to closing down. It gives them the freedom to push up front. And जब ये formation पे shift हुआ था, the only person I felt would be sacrificed was Pulisic, because उसका playing style थोड़ा sacrifice होगा, but he's also come on his own.
Yeah.
Jimenez is amazing. Confidence level of that kid is absolutely amazing. He's very vital when it comes to this particular formation because his defensive duties sacrifice. It's okay if he does not, but he does cover up a
Yeah.
lot of ground. What I like about this formation best is that Fofana पे pressure नहीं आता है, because when you play a double pivot, कैसी से जो expectation कर रहे थे वो अभी तक that hole is still there. So Fofana पे वो pressure नहीं है. He is good with spraying passes ahead. But for me, this entire formation में Milan will be like the first half in the game, in the league game. Milan will be very patient,
Hmm.
because if you are patient, you will get your chances. And if you score that goal and if momentum Mila, Bologna will push forward. And we saw it in the second half. If they do press a little more, there are a lot of spaces behind.
Yeah.
Chukwueze was amazing when he came on. And as you said, परम वो मिडफील्ड और डिफेंस के बीच में जो गैप है
Hmm.
वो चुक्वेसी बहुत अच्छी तरह कवर कर रहा था. अटैकिंग यू नीड ऑर्सोलिनी डिड द सेम थिंग. परम ऑर्सोलिनी को जब फ्री स्पेस मिला, ही
Yeah.
डायरेक्टली वेंट एट पाव्लोविच. सो दिस इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग बैटल. मिलान को मिडफील्ड और डिफेंस को नैरो रखना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज यू कैनॉट लेट दैट ओवरलैपिंग रन ऑफ ऑर्सोलिनी हैपन, एंड यू कांट लेट हिम कट इन. सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर मी, entire match, I think this is the match we might see the best of Leao over here.
Fair enough. I feel tactic. Because comments में again, you guys also pitch in and tell us how do you feel this game will pan out tactically. आपको क्या लगता है कौन मैन ऑफ द मैच होगा, कौन प्लेयर वो डिफरेंस मेकर होगा? आप लोग भी बताओ कमेंट्स में. दिस इज वेयर आई गिव माय 2 cents फ्रॉम द अदर साइड. आई फील बोलोनिया के एंड से ना व्हाट आई वुड लुक एट इज, बिकॉज ये जो शिफ्ट हुआ है ना आपका 3-4-3 वाइल 3-4-2-1 3-4-3, while you have looked solid and whatnot, I still feel even when on the day y'all beat us 3-0, right? उस मैच में वी स्टिल बाईपास योर मिडफील्ड वेरी इजीली. एंड आई स्टिल फील, जैसे आपने बोला ना कि मिलान के पास वो ओटावियो टाइप प्लेयर नहीं है, हेक्टर हरेरा टाइप प्लेयर
Yeah.
नहीं है. Fofana is good, but he's not that kind of a player, right? He's
He's
not
not that.
outer.
He's not that
Yeah,
character नहीं है उसका.
exactly. Like, he is a different profile, is what I mean to say, right?
Yeah.
Like he's a good player, and I feel he's suitable for the system, but he's not like your Otavio type get stuck in player. वैसा नहीं है वो. और that is the type of player Milan lack, and that is why I feel वो एक gap रह जाता है midfield में. Reinders is in the form of his life. He's fantastic, but again, that gap I feel where Bologna have to show up. Like I know Luis Ferguson direct हो सकता है, वो उसमें capability है. He drives the ball very well. He has that calm to kind of roam around with the ball, kind of find the right pass. Jens Odegaard कैसा है, वो बीच में रह के he'll roam around that
Yeah.
kind of final third alongside the other attackers. Cambiaki ke jagah Endoy is mostly going to start, but the point, you get my point, right? So the
But
movement.
Param, I tell you, against Inter, probably the most potent midfield in the league.
Yeah,
What I see ना वो बराबर बोला, against Inter we suffered, but तब से मैं देख रहा हूँ ना, मिलान लुक मोर कॉम्पैक्ट. अभी जैसे
yeah,
हम लोग ने
yeah. That's
जेनोवा
what
के
I
सामने
said.
गेम निकाल, वी आर
Yeah,
गेटिंग बेटर. वी हैव अंडरस्टैंडिंग
yeah.
दैट वो लाइन कम रखना पड़ेगा, वो गैप कम रखना पड़ेगा. इवन इफ कम नहीं है, tomorrow will have to push up to either close down someone. वो गैप जितना रखेगा, someone will exploit. And especially a team which is as talented as Bologna, जो individually skillful players हैं परम, जैसे
Hmm.
ऑर्सोलिनी है, एंडॉय खेलेगा, so वो individually skillful players explore कर सकते हैं. Only thing is what I just don't want Milan to get sucked into defensively face so much that you just sit back completely. Milan
Yeah.
अगर एक early goal मार देगा, I think Bologna might struggle. It's just a game. Even if Bologna score first, Milan will still stick to their game. But if Milan end up scoring first, Param, you are inviting Bologna to play out, and Tabi Milan will sit back and might wait for counter. Inter
Hmm.
game was an anomaly, I feel, because Inter is a different team. You play Inter, you have to play in a different mindset. But जो मैंने देखा है Milan, even against Atlanta, पर we scored amazing goal by Atlanta, brilliantly worked. And that time तो just set हो रहा था back three. What I feel is Milan have understood the gap. That's why RLC Param I said played a big role. Whoa, he was going at the players. He's not letting them make that turn, make them pass. So I hope Fofana is coming back from that injury. And if Milan go up, you'll see an immediate substitute. Pulisic निकल के शायद RLC आ जाएगा अंदर.
Fair enough. Like, see, I feel that yeah, the compactness has gotten better, but I still feel वो बोलोनिया का अगर वो quick rotational direct play मिले, थोड़ा quick movements and all, because I have seen that make a difference. I have seen when they collectively, the center backs also press up, like when Lukumi commands and Boykema commands, they win the aerial duels, and when Ferguson wins that second ball, they run at you. That is where they're dangerous. But
Yeah.
उसका risk है क्योंकि Milan have good wingers who can counter quickly, like Leao, Pulisic, and that can even come from Theo when he's on song. So there is a risk to their approach, but I feel that this is where they can hurt Milan, because I do feel Bologna थोड़ा second balls जीतने में अच्छा है, aerial duels जीतने में अच्छा है, which like I can clearly see Freuler, अगर physical battle देखे तो I can see Freuler getting the better of Reinders अगर उस
Yeah.
battle पे आ जाए तो. Like again, Freuler is also that kind of player कि when Boykema pushes up or when Lukumi pushes up, he will drop in and cover that space. He is that kind of a player. And so I expect Bologna to read the situations very well. मेरा हमेशा इटालियनों का एक ही चीज रहेगा कि वो प्लेयर्स के डिस्टेंसेस मैनेज कर पाए, क्योंकि मैं ये नोटिस करता हूँ कभी कभी the distance between the midfield and the defense is too much. Like वो उसका हमेशा फ्लॉ रहा है. Like he
And
just
Param,
at times.
that's the only thing which I feel might work against Bologna if Milan score
Yeah,
first. Because second
yeah,
half में तो Param, we were bypassing them easily because Chukwueze was running riots, in that
yeah,
game. And plus Milan, let's not forget, Milan will have pacey players coming. If Jovic starts, we have Jimenez and Felix coming, Chukwueze as pace merchants coming in also.
yeah,
So, but I do feel that Bologna, I know it was not their starting line, but the display at San Siro was very timid, Param. You saw, I'm
yeah,
sure you saw the game, very timid.
yeah.
Not, it was nothing what I expected from a Bologna team.
Yeah, and this is where maybe they're a bit fired up as well now. The players आ गए and they know कि point to prove है भाई कि हम लोग already मिलान से आ गए. Generally मैं बार बार बोलते रहा हूँ कि Bologna's record historically against AC Milan is not good. It just isn't good and they've lost a lot of games. अगर मैं quickly last form देखो 5 गेम का, आप देख रहे हो मिलान अच्छे फॉर्म में है. Milan Bologna played each other. जैसे मैंने बोला Milan 1-3-1. Then Bologna have been doing an okay job apart from that. Absentees, Orlich and Pedrola are out. Pedrola, I think, could still make it. Sorry, the injured players are traveling with them just for support. Sotil and Bondo are still out, right, Chintan bhai? So yeah, that
Yeah, they're
is
traveling. but they are
दे आर
traveling.
ट्रैवलिंग विद द टीम एग्जैक्टली. सो वो एक टीम न्यूज सिचुएशन है. आई थिंक हमने टैक्टिक्स डिस्कस कर लिए. लेट मी टेक अ फ्यू कमेंट्स एंड वील गेट प्रेडिक्शंस एंड वील क्लोज दिस स्ट्रीम गाइस. अच्छा स्ट्रीम रहा है. Over an hour, I've enjoyed the interaction. Please do, as I always say, like, share, and subscribe. Karo yaar, come on. The goal is to reach to 2K subscribers together, so let's do it. कहाँ गया मैंने रोका था. शचिन को ये हो गया. हाँ सॉरी, आमिर भाई ने पासपोर्ट साइज फोटो लगाया. पिज्जा कमिंग टू सेरिया. यस वी डिस्कस्ड दैट. प्रेडिक्ट हाउ लॉन्ग विल पीपो सर्वाइव नेक्स्ट सीजन.
Pippo
यार
is over
पीपो
going to take his brother next season.
भाई उसका वही है यार. वो सेरिया बी में ही इज द पेप गार्डियोला. ऊपर आ जाता है तब भाई वो वेंचुरा बन जाता है. मतलब उसका सेरिया कोचिंग रिकॉर्ड इज जस्ट टेरिबल. लाइक या but they, like, you can see the bond between, obviously they are brothers at the end of the day, but they've been praising each other left right center
Oh
both the
yes,
interview.
yes.
Like तो वो pizza.
Italians are very family oriented, so
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are very.
definitely.
I
And
think
it's just,
Simone. I think he has a kid also, right?
sorry, who?
Simone has a kid also, right?
Simone has like 2 3 kids here, like.
Yeah, so I think he's very. One of them is very close with Pippo also.
Yeah, like so definitely, like and one of his kids is playing in the youth academies of Inter also. So, yeah, as a striker surprisingly. So शायद वही होगा जिसको पिप्पो पसंद है. तो बट नहीं यार, लाइक सी, एक तो कोइंसिडेंस भी फनी कि दोनों ब्लैक एंड ब्लू क्लब्स को ही कोच कर रहे हैं. सो दैट्स अ वियर्ड कोइंसिडेंस. बट नहीं यार, लुक फॉर पिप्पो, लाइक अगेन आई होप उसका करियर टर्न अराउंड हो थोड़ा, बिकॉज what he's done with pizza, मैं बोलूंगा अगेन, मैं सेरिया बी स्ट्रीम में हम लोग ये करेंगे. we'll do a proper serie b stream. Let this season end. We'll do a proper serie b stream. Getting a club to the serie after 30 plus years is not easy. Again, paper पे आसान लगता है यार, but it was really a tough job to do it. So kudos to him. Yeah, he's been very good. Ayan, ये again मैं depth में serie b stream में जाऊंगा, but simply वो जो लॉरियंटे जो था ना, जो चिंदन में बुली कर रहा था सेरिया टीम्स को 2 सीजन पहले, वो लॉरियंटे वापस आ गया है. वुड से आई थिंक ही विल डू वेल. Last season, in that relegation season, he had completely fallen off, but he was the top scorer of the Serie B. Just one goal above Pio Esposito. Fantastic. And I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of maybe gets a bigger mid-table move or somewhere in France or something. Yeah, Sassuolo will bully every big club. Yeah, not just Milan. They beat Milan, they'll beat Inter, they'll beat Juve, they'll beat Napoli. So yeah, Milan City. Slabhead Maguire to score the winner. Traitor for Leverkusen. Amorim will do a Mourinho by saying, I won the Europa League with the backline of Lindelof and Euro. I never said that. I don't know. मैंने नहीं बोला, किसी और ने बोला. I think comments में बोला होगा. I didn't say that.
But yeah, एक चीज बोल दूं यार, I know Harry Maguire is a very much center of all the memes and jokes. He isn't as bad as what.
Yeah, he's not. I have said this. Yes, I have said this. He's not as bad as people make him out to. उसमें jokes बनते हैं. I think Chintan bhai froze or I froze, one of the two. Let us know who has frozen in the comments. I think Chintan bhai has, so Chintan bhai is back.
I'm just saying that he's the kind of an old school defender.
Yeah.
So he's not good with his feet. So that's what awkward लगता है. Otherwise, boss for England national team के लिए, boss England के लिए was outstanding.
Yeah, he's not even that bad a player. वो just memeable बन गया है, and unfortunate for him, just horrible when you really think about it. Out of context, I
don't think he wants to become a manager.
Del Piero ko nahi, but Cannavaro is already a manager. Manash, he was actually managing Udinese not that long ago. Cannavaro has even coached in China. He's already a coach, but Del Piero ko to nahi banna hai. Man, it looks, it is quite a beautiful place, और उतना एक्सपेंसिव भी है. मतलब आप अगर उस ड्रीम को फुलफिल करना चाहते हो तो यू हैव, मतलब इन जनरल एनी ड्रीम हूएवर वांट्स टू फुलफिल, यू हैव टू वर्क हार्ड टुवर्ड्स इट. बट कोमो, इटली इन जनरल टूरिस्टिकली थोड़ा एक्सपेंसिव है. कोमो तो भाई मतलब इट इज क्वाइट expensive, man. Like, but definitely I hope you can make it happen. अगर आप जा रहे हो, go for a Como game before they revamp their stadium, because they're already going to refurbish their stadium. So you might as well go to that Como stadium in its raw nature. These raw, when it's in its raw nature, चिंतन में मजा आता है. ये छोटे stadiums like Venezia का, Como का, at least Como's location में रहने वाली है. चिंतन में Venezia तो location बदल रहा है. No more traveling by boats and all. They're completely, like, they're in Venice obviously, but they're changing the location of their stadium few years down the line. Yeah, they've not, but Roma have a lot of Coppa Italia titles. They have nine, uh, as many as Inter. Boban, yes, I remember
Pa-
this.
Param, Uncle Sharma is here on the comment. Special comment for you, buddy.
Where- Yeah, yeah, I'll have to make this. I'll have to make this. Like I've already praised him enough, bro. Like I
नहीं
still have
भाई,
my
not not
doubts.
not not today, not today. You can get an
Not
apology later. Not this year with
yeah,
Milan playing them.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But no, bro, like I have to definitely. I gave him a stars. I think I have to do more though, but on another stream because yeah, definitely. I have been very skeptical of this guy, and I still have some doubts, but definitely a proper apology is has to be given, and I'll probably do it in a post-season stream when we revisit our predictions, because especially if he wins tonight, I think I'll have to make like a proper short maybe the next day to like kind of apologize right away. So yeah, but definitely, man, like I know, but yeah, definitely, like I'll have to do something like that. uh, I just need to just take a last few comments and we can take the predictions and close this, Chindan bhai. What? Sorry, this year. So Soboslai was close to Milan because Rangnick, Ralph
Ralph
Rangnick,
Rangnick wanted
Ralph
him very
Rangnick.
badly. Olmo तो
Exactly.
भी
And
Olmo के साथ तो we've been flirting for a while. Olmo
yeah,
नहीं आया था, we were very upset and उसके injury issues तो थे. But yeah, Ralph Rangnick आता तो he was very,
yeah,
उसने
yeah,
sternly बोल दिया था कि I'll come with him.
yeah. And I remember Soboslai was liking like every AC Milan post on
Yeah,
Instagram, left, right, center, because Rangnick was moving there and he was very keen on joining. But obviously, the Ralph Rangnick deal fell through and Soboslai didn't come eventually. Uh, Yeah, I mean, again,
yeah,
you
yeah.
said it. Lineup according to me: Mike, Gabia, Pavlovic, Walker, Theo, Jimenez, Tejani, Fofana, sorry, Pulisic, Leo, Leao, and Santiago or Tammy. So that's what he wants. But we've
But I
seen the
think
prediction.
if Tomori is not declared fit last minute, then this will be
Yeah,
the lineup. Walker will walk
yeah.
in.
You mean a medal? This is funny because I think Alabia might get a medal even if he loses, right?
No, Milan sold him, no?
Yeah, but even despite selling,
Yeah, he's
he
played for Milan, but
the
I don't know क्या रूल
participation, huh?
मिल सकता है उसको आइदर में मेडल मिल सकता है
Yeah, the participation thing, he might get the medal because technically, if Napoli win the Serie A, Kvaratskhelia will get the Serie A medal as
या
well, right? So
या
Calabria might win either way. Like this is hilarious. This is hilarious.
या
Captain America, man of the match. This is the
होपफुल
game which finally gets Orsolini the national team call up. I swear, man,
और
he deserves it.
ये गेम के बाद जो करना है करो
Yeah, I can spot a lot of similarities between India and Italy. This is what Del Monte said to us as well. He
it is
thinks India.
way more similarity than we know when it comes to in bureaucratic ways, when it comes to politics and how things work, paperwork
Yeah,
wise, everything is very similar. And Italians are very family oriented, family
yeah,
friendly people, just like they live with their parents, pretty much how
yeah,
an Indian system works.
yeah. Out of last 19 games, I guess
Yes.
Bologna, Milan have only lost once to them. Yeah, exactly. This is see, and first of all, Bologna and Milan are meeting for the first time in a Coppa Italia final. It's never
Yeah.
happened before, so that's a first. 3-1 to AC Milan. Bologna score first, then we make a comeback. It was Chintan by who praised Maguire. You know, again, yeah. I didn't say relegation. I said mid table. I think I didn't say
नहीं हम लोग
relegation.
सबका सबके हॉट टेक्स आई थिंक अजय
Yeah,
सेड दैट बोलोनिया मेरा हॉट टेक माइट फ्लोट विद
yeah.
रेलिगेशन
He
बट
called for Bologna relegation, and yeah, that's a different thing. But I think we've discussed pretty much everything. I don't think there is anything left. We can start taking predictions. So guys, as always, जैसे हम लोग करते हैं, give your team names, and obviously the teams are only two, but give your proper predictions. AC Milan is the home team. Bologna, I want predictions in the comments. And Chintan, by starting with you, your team is involved. I want to see it in the comments. What do you think is happening? Take us through the final. Take us through the final in your opinion.
Milan play well when they concede first, but it's very scary in a final if we concede first. So if Milan concede first, you see a Milan comeback happening. But in a final, यार पर मेरे को सब टेंशन नहीं चाहिए. I want a straightforward Milan win, but when it comes to Milan, nothing is straightforward. But yeah, I think 3-1 Milan will win this or a 3-2. I see us going back also, like probably 2-1 down and winning the game. But I see Milan winning 3-1 or 2-3-2.
फाइनली लाइक आई एम सीइंग मिलान फैंस बी बोल्ड, एटलीस्ट वो एक अच्छा चेंज है। मुझे भी लगता है एसी मिलान जीतेगी। लाइक आई जस्ट फील एसी मिलान हैज बोलोनिया's नंबर इन जनरल। I would not as a rival. As objectively speaking, I would like to see Bologna win only because of the story side of things. Things I've kind of had that soft corner for, not I would say soft corner, but like I've always wanted over the last few years for Bologna to do something in this league, and I hope at some point they can. And ये chance आया तो I really hope somewhere they do something. 3-1 to AC Milan says RS, 2-1 to AC Milan, Tijani and Pulisic to score. Send it to penalties for the. I would love a penalty shootout. Like,
भाई
sorry,
कल सुबह काम पे जाना है, नहीं can't stay up late man.
that's also there. But I would love a penalty shootout. Like, I swear I would love a penalty shootout. Come on, I want to see more predictions, guys. Where are they? But my opinion, how this final goes, I feel maybe Bologna take the lead, and I think Milan kind of make a comeback. Like Milan will push and push, and I think Tijani Rangers will come clutch, and Milan maybe win like 2-1 or something. But yeah, and Milan finally after 20 plus years lift the Coppa Italia, and yeah, joy for चिंतन भाई एंड को ऐसा। और अगर आप लोग जीतते हो तो डेफिनेटली इमीडिएट शॉर्ट वर्ड चाहिए यार आप लोग से। ऑन पेनल्टीज दिस अ गुड क्वेश्चन, इफ इट डज गो टू पेनल्टीज हु विल यू गिव द एज? दिस इज इंटरेस्टिंग।
Very penalties. I feel penalties is just pretty much you can't
No, but
edge
from a
to.
Milan perspective, how confident do you feel about penalties in
I
general?
don't
How
know.
do you?
Milan don't have good penalty takers.
Yeah,
Liao, I don't trust Liao. I don't trust Milan penalty takers. Pulisic is good, but other than that, Theo might be good, but Theo has done his blunders too. So I
yeah,
don't
like
know.
and even Bologna have not been involved in penalties for ages. I know they have decent penalty takers, but yeah,
Only,
that
only feel I feel only player who might come clutch in a penalty shootout is Mike Mignon because he's been there, done that
yeah,
as a
yeah.
French national. वो एक pressure handle कर सकता है,
To
so
be
he might be clutch.
to be fair,
Though
even
Skorupski is a very he's a very good
Skorupski,
shot stopper, but नहीं
yeah,
Param, I just meant on a temperament perspective because
yeah,
being in a final, being in a big stage, sometimes it's just temperament to read a player to play mind games. Oh, Mike Mignon is a big figure when he
yeah,
stands tall. So he's
yeah,
made some
fair.
very pivotal stays. Anfield में उसने penalty stop. मतलब it's just a clutch.
Yeah.
It at that time Param will just come down to the temperament of the players. Got nothing to do with talent.
Fair enough. नहीं, I do feel being a Serie A regular ना Skorupski में भी वो कुछ है, and he does make good saves. So that would be an interesting battle. Italiano should coach Spurs if he loses again. So just quickly going back to one thing, मैंने बोला ना Mbaye Niang missed a sitter. It just popped on our feed the video. So might as well show it. This is what he missed yesterday, which could have guaranteed Sampdoria their safety. Let me just show you. Right? Just see this. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Just see this, right? Look at that. The ball will. This is M by Niang. Look at that. Just
Can
look
you
at.
can you just YouTube कर सकता है? Can you just bring the Barca? तेरे पास just करना वो the Barca Niang miss versus Barcelona.
If I YouTube it, we might get hit with copyright. That's the issue. Twitter
Oh
पे फिर
damn.
भी चलता है. So let me see if it's there on Twitter. But yeah, that's what he missed, and that's a Bologna kind of, kind of have dropped to the Serie
Because
A.
I think Twitter पे शायद तो था because it is this clip keeps doing rounds whenever he
Yeah,
misses a golden opportunity like this ना this keeps doing rounds. So
yeah.
but yeah man, I think
Yeah,
Param
yeah.
we
I think I'm just trying to see the last things regarding the mood around the Coppa Italia Coppa Italia final. The stadium has started filling up, is what I can see. Both club के fans are entering the stadium. ये वो चल रहा है. I'm just seeing, is there anything else that I need to bring up? No, not really. I think you've touched upon everything. Baggio is there at the stadium. Everything is, the mood is, the atmosphere is building up. So yeah, we've taken predictions. Any more predictions if anybody wants to bring, please let us know in the comments. Yeah, see, I'll just pull this one picture up. I think the stadium has started filling up. That's all. वही बस दिखाना है मेरे को, और कुछ नहीं. And I think we are pretty much done. Chintan, any final thoughts you want to give?
just for I feel Conceição, poor guy, is going to be the scapegoat. He's going to get criticized, and I just hope even if he leaves on a high with giving us the
Yeah,
Europa League from an impossible
yeah,
and giving us two trophies. And I don't remember last time Milan winning two trophies. To be very honest, doesn't matter
yeah,
what trophies it is. So
yeah.
I just hope we win it for Conceição, and I hope he gets that continuity, gets his players too much happening up above. जिसका भी जितना भी कंट्रोल कॉन्सेसाओ के हाथ में, आई जस्ट होप these players turn up. परम यार मिलान का वही प्रॉब्लम है, प्लेयर्स अच्छे हैं, it's just that I hope they turn up today, man. It's like Milan fans all over are begging, like this is probably our Champions League final, that boss get us back into Europe somehow, so that we can rebuild again, and let's not
Fair enough.
keep doing this restart every year. पर हम क्या होता है पता है, जैसे जब से लीग टाइटल जीते, that should have been a year one. We are restarting every year, yeah, so there's no continuity. So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
just
fair.
hope and pray that we finally found a winner,
Mm.
like a Conceição who's won a league title, so before with other leagues, so I just hope we got a winner. Let's stick to him.
Fair enough. So this is just the image of the stadium filling up slowly hours before भरते जा रहा है Olympico. So good to see. Abhijay, thanks for reminding me. Start comments quickly ले लेता हूँ. That's my bad. What do you think about Conceição's future, considering it's almost like he's out? आपको लग रहा है जा रहा है objectively speaking कि क्या?
He himself said it, परम वो बोल रहा है कि सब प्लेयर्स में बाहर न्यूज आ रहा है, प्लेयर्स का भी माइंड नहीं है. So from his body language, I feel doesn't matter what Milan think. I feel he's half out right now unless we win this. Management sits down, so doesn't matter किसके side से क्या. As of now, if you ask me, even if we win the trophy, I am pretty much sure 50% he's out.
Fair enough. ये हो गया. Next Tomori update चिंतन भाई.
He should be starting, by the looks of it. Should be starting. If he doesn't start, it's a
Yeah.
freak injury. वो because a head injury था, that's why sub off कर दिया था for precautionary measure. He was training also. So if he doesn't start, I think he will start. If he doesn't start, then Walker is supposed to start.
Fair enough. Next comment. चिंतन भाई, thoughts on Tijani's links to Manchester City. क्या बोलते हो?
Can't do anything, man. Unfortunately, Param, not just my team. I think any team in Serie A, like Cambias or Juventus के साथ है. If you are linked with a club like that who splashes money so much, I just hope if we do. मैं पहले बोला था परम, मिलान का अगर तू मेरे को बोल सब प्लेयर्स को बेच दो, I would sell everyone except Tijani right now. We need to
Yeah.
build a project around him because he's a very
Yeah.
classical number 8. We need, he can play very well wherever he wants. Amazing with the ball, brilliant vision. So I hope he stays. But even if we do sell him, I hope it's like a Juventus Zidane thing where we get bucket loads of money and we buy 2-3 world
Yeah.
class players.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw Danny, sorry, अपना your Longo say कि uh, it's not as low as 70 million. Obviously, the price tag will be higher, which
Oh,
even I.
much. Now I think if Milan sold 57-60 में Tonali को बेचा है, तो Tijani will definitely be higher.
Yup. Next, start comment. Opinion on Furlani and his performance, Chintan bhai. Do you feel he's not getting enough criticism?
Furlani is getting a lot of. I don't feel like he deserves more criticism from it because जो परम क्या होता है, everyone is acting like heroes over here. सबको अपना पावर दिखाना है. Zlatan को स्पोर्टिंग डायरेक्टर लेके आता है, ये रिजेक्ट करता है. There's no hierarchy परम. स्पोर्टिंग डायरेक्टर का जॉब है, तुम टीम बनाओ. Moncada is your specialization, उसका कुछ और है, तुम उसको दूसरा काम दे रहे हो. Forlani wants all the transfers to come through him. तो Zlatan क्या कर रहा है? There are so many question marks. Hierarchy pyramid देखा, कोई भी कंपनी में जाओ, पर you have a boss, your boss has a higher boss, and that's how a company works. इधर कोई है ही नहीं. I think he's not getting enough criticism. I feel he should be getting more and more criticism because he's acting like this spoiled brat who wants to run everything by himself.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Next one. What are we hoping for, Chintan bhai?
Nothing less than a victory. Nothing less than a victory. आज हार गए तो मतलब कॉन्सेसाओ तो मेरे को लगा सुबह अपने आप रेजिग्नेशन दे देगा because I know Roma is just 3 ahead. We beat them. We might be level with Roma and head to head better हो जाएगा. But this is it. A trophy is something and you can see it. Conceição is like the serial winner. He wants this trophy. ये जीत गया ना, वो मैनेजमेंट के साथ अपना सीवी लेके जा सकता है. देख मैं ये ट्रॉफी भी जीत के आया, मुझे प्लेयर्स हो. But nothing less than a victory. Because if we lose to Bologna, we are of course feeding in the whole story of Bologna को beautiful story मिल गया. मिलान का दुख दर्द गायब हो जाएगा. But we need to win this for a reputation, for a club's sake. 20 years plus years not winning this trophy. League title तो अभी जीत गए. We need to win this trophy desperately. And another thing, Param, don't remember last time Milan had 2 trophies in a season. So must win.
Yeah. Bodhayan's question: how has Luis Ferguson performed after his injury comeback Italy of no for
ये ले ले
injury
परम
comeback
को.
Italiano for manager of the season regardless of today's result? This was totally unexpected. Kudos to him and Baronier. So Bodhan, I'll say देख Luis Ferguson obviously injury के बाद मतलब आना एकदम से आसान तो नहीं होता है. एक तो पहली चीज वो बट आई फील ही स्टिल डन अ प्रेटी जॉब बिकॉज वो आने के बाद भी उसको एक और फिर से एक दो इंजरीज हुई थी माइनर निगर्स.
Exactly.
सो उसको वो पूरा फुल फ्लो में आने को ना टाइम लगेगा because an ACL always takes a toll and it's never easy. But I would still say he is an integral part. उसका season कैसा रहा है? His season has been okay. He's only started 8-9 games यार. Like it's very hard to judge because बीच में ही एकदम वापस आया ACL and also on a whole it's hard to really judge his season. I would still say he's done a decent job. He's still a vital piece. He's at least what he's made sure Chintan bhai is he's still a vital piece for Bologna. It's not like
He's a
he's
captain,
become
right?
second.
Official captain है ना वो.
Yeah, it's not like he's fallen second fiddle after his ACL. So kudos to him. I feel there is still a very good player in there, and I hope that player can come out. The pre ACL Lewis Ferguson can
Oh,
come back because I love
amazing,
I
amazing.
love the player. मैंने उसको मेरे को याद है एबरडीन में जब वो खेलता था यार अगेन another he was very one of those standout players and Bologna scouted the right player at that time like really so I just really hope yeah this guy bounces back and gets his level because he really is that I really rate him so I can honestly see this guy fitting it in at multiple clubs also. I'm not saying he should leave Bologna but I really hope we get to see that player again. You never know tonight अगर वो glimpse दिखे तो no, not for Chintan bhai obviously but from another perspective, which player profile should Milan target for in summer
Oh,
transfer
too
window?
many, too
Very
many,
briefly,
too
अगर
many.
एक
I,
प्रायोरिटी देना हो तो बस.
priority देना central midfielder. I personally want a very good central midfielder.
Fair enough.
मेरे को
Fair
एक
enough.
number 6 लेके आओ तुम. Give me a number 6. Friend group में कब से बोल रहा हूँ. Give me a friend group and I'm happy.
Fair enough. So that is that for the start questions. थोड़े last है. ले लेता हूँ ये तो predictions. Come on guys, अगर आपके predictions है तो लाओ मेरे last दो तीन. Baggio is not going to root for anyone.
Yeah.
He's universally loved by all. बस वही पता है. बस वही काफी है. Uh, देखो यार रिपोर्ट्स ना हर चीज जो रिपोर्ट होती है वैसी की वैसी नहीं होती. You know that's what you saw from the Athletic, but Milan will ask for more. वो
No,
लोग
no.
70.
Reported price में I think they just come to a conclusion of the market value of the player and वो
Yes,
सब करके.
yes.
But then you don't add the importance he brings to a particular team. He might be a 60 million, but for Milan he's invaluable. So that percentage add हो जाएगा उसके अंदर.
Yeah, exactly. अर्ली प्रिडिक्शन ये तो बहुत अर्ली हो गया यार भाई मतलब चैंपियंस लीग का फाइनल
क्या
बचा
तुम
है.
लोग पूछ रहे हो यार. तुम लोग यार प्लीज वी हैव आंसर. चैंपियंस लीग इंटर मिलान, क्लब वर्ल्ड कप इंटर मिलान.
नहीं यार बहुत जल्दी है मेरे पास इसका आंसर. इट्स टू सून यार लाइक पहले मतलब आई नो देयर इज ओनली अ मंथ लेफ्ट बट स्टिल यार आई डोंट नो मेरे लिए तो
And I'm
बहुत.
not joking. If Inter wins the Champions League final, I'm telling you they will be favorites. I'll go with Inter Milan and Liverpool.
अरे बाप रे तुम ज्यादा ही हो गया बट देखते हैं यार पहले चैंपियंस लीग फाइनल आते हैं तब का तब देखते हैं. Shivam says hello guys free from babysitting finally all the best to AC Milan fans. Nice to have you Shivam as always. I think this was the last comment. I think just one last thing I'll show is कि I think officially the lineups are out. मतलब not by the clubs but by some accounts officially they're out so I might as well pull those up very quickly. uh, just last चीज दिखाता हूँ मैं ये और we can close the stream. I mean yeah एक घंटे से एक ही घंटा बचा अभी मैच को so yep these are the official lineups. So as you can see AC Milan के लिए Maignan,
Come on,
Tomori, Gabia, Pavlovic as
as
expected.
expected.
Jimenez, Fofana, Reinders, Theo, Pulisic, Jovic ले आओ जो डिस्कस किया था हमने वही है. सैंटियागो obviously
Oh,
नहीं था expect.
home starting over Calabria.
या होम क्योंकि होम
Finally.
जस्ट इंजरी से या बिकॉज होम इज द जनरल एमिल होम इज द रेगुलर स्टार्टर फॉर बोलोनिया एंड
Castro
ही
starting.
या कास्ट्रो स्टार्टिंग में वही वो उसने स्विच अप कर दिया है. तो स्कोरुप्सकी इन गोल, एमिल होम राइट बैक, बॉयकेमा लुकुमी सेंटर बैक, मिरांडा एट लेफ्ट बैक, लुइस फर्ग्यूसन फ्रॉइलर फॉर्मिंग दैट मिडफील्ड डुओ, ऑर्सोलिनी फाबियान स्टार्टिंग दैट्स आल्सो इंटरेस्टिंग, जियोवानी फाबियान and Endoy and Santiago Castro. So no Odegaard as well.
No Odegaard. Odegaard नहीं है.
Yeah, is Fabian does have a knack
So,
to scoot. हाँ बोलो
but
बोलो.
that means Odegaard is a little more aggressive attacking. Fabian
Yeah.
is playing a little I think Ondor, he expects Ondor to push up further.
Yeah,
Odegaard plays in that line in the middle. So fair enough. Fair enough. He changed it up a little bit. So
yeah, he's changed it up for sure. So lineups confirmed, guys. Again, I don't see any more predictions, so I will close. There's a window for, yeah, 10 दिन का window है. River Plate Club World Cup winners says Abhijay. Obviously, if Inter wins both Club World Cup and UCL, then Martinez for Lautaro Martinez for Valent or Calabria benched. Yes. So I guess, guys, that's it. Chindan, any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say?
nothing now. 1 hour to go. Fingers crossed for the Milan.
Yes, just let me quickly show. अगर आप GXR नहीं जानते तो मैं GXR का वेबसाइट जस्ट दिखा देता हूँ बाय एनी चांस इफ यू डोंट नो बिकॉज दिस इज वेयर द फाइनल इज गोइंग टू बी शोन. आई होप अगर आपके पास टाइम हो आप लोग कोपा इटालिया फाइनल देखे. दिस इज विजिबल चिंतन भाई जस्ट लेट मी नो.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, as you can see, the Coppa Italia final is scheduled here. Thankfully, hopefully काम करेगी stream. That's all I can say. But yeah, GXR पे दिखने वाला है. Please देखो Coppa Italia final. Please first and foremost, as we always say, like, share and subscribe the stream. Subscribe to the channel, guys. We are on the road to 2K. Content आता रहेगा. Quagliarella पे video आ रहा है. The former Sampdoria player. On his story, there is a lot of content coming your way. Shorts आते रहेंगे. End of the season Serie A awards, watch alongs if possible, whatever. We are planning on a Champions League final watch along party, like a proper screening and all.
Screening,
So
yeah.
if
Okay.
you guys are
Mumbai
अभी तो
fans. Mumbai
मुंबई में
fans,
हो या
please.
अगर या फिर अगर आप आ सकते हो मुंबई उस दिन पे, we'll put out a proper form and everything, so do try to make it. हम लोग informed रखेंगे आपको. It's in the
And
works.
I'll be distributing free PSG jerseys for everyone. So please don't forget to miss the final.
या डेफिनेटली. सो डेफिनेटली अगर आप उसके लिए आ सकते हो तो मे बी प्लीज डू कम अलोंग, वो नोटिस आएगा. एंड नथिंग एल्स, प्लीज डू लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. प्लीज डू सब्सक्राइब टू Ajay Bhai's channel at AM Talk Sports. Obviously he's dropped a video on Paris FC and all recently, so do check it out. Do check out our rest of our videos. Torino पे जो है दूसरे videos बहुत है, so do check it out and spread the word, guys. We have to grow the community together, so let's do this. And as always, we'll see you on the next side. I'll say sempre Forza Inter, and Chintan obviously hopes his club does something tonight. But yeah, see you guys on the flip side, guys. GXR पे फाइनल है 12:30 है, 12:15 है. चिंतन में 12:30 है, राइट?
12:30.
12:30 है, 12:30 को है. ओनली एन आवर लेफ्ट, लेस देन एन आवर लेफ्ट इनफैक्ट. सो देख लेना फाइनल. आई नो रियल मैड्रिड का भी मैच है, बट इफ यू कैन वॉच द कोपा इटालिया फाइनल, नथिंग लाइक इट. कहाँ देखना है कृषानु मैंने जस्ट दिखाया था, gxr.world. मैं ना एक काम करता हूँ, मैं ना कमेंट्स में डाल देता हूँ भाई. माइट एज वेल पुट इट हियर. मैंने डाल दिया इधर. GXR वर्ल्ड पे है. इधर मैच आएगा, शेड्यूल पे ऑलरेडी है. पेड प्रमोशन नहीं है भाई. दे शुड बी पेइंग अस. आई मीन ऐसा लग रहा है कि सॉरी वी आर पेइंग देम टू properly broadcast the game. So yeah, guys, we'll see you soon. And until next time, ciao ciao.
Ciao, ciao.